Welcome. Last show of the week already, maybe. Oh my goodness. Where is the week gone? Well, basically nowhere. It's only Tuesday, but I do have things going on, so I'll be traveling, as I've mentioned. So this is it. I was going to pick up my rental car today. I don't know why this keeps happening. One second. Uh, yeah, yes. So I went and picked it up. It's a Honda Civic. I actually liked the last time I got a rental car. It was a Sonata, Hyundai Sonata. I enjoyed that more. How do you call in for the call-in shows? You click the link to StreamYard, and you call in through StreamYard uh, when I put the link out. So you just click it. It's like a URL that'll bring you to. So, yes, I got a Honda Civic, and I'll be driving. I can't tell you where I'm going. All I can tell you is it's something to do with my work with the Crucible. So it's a secret. To the strip club. No, I'm not going to the strip club. I'm actually going. I find the strip club to be one of the most awkward places in the world, to be quite honest. It's pathetic. If I'm just being honest with it. But yes, shut down 2 hours, right? Ah, yes. It'd be nice. A little bit of a shutdown. So we got our sombreros ready to have a little fiesta or siesta, depending on how you look at it. Oh my goodness, unforced ego. I promise I'll get to the super chat. Damn, incredibly generous. Now, we are trying to shatter our goal today because obviously I'm not going to be streaming much this week. So unforced ego gets us off to a great start already. I was hoping there was a panel or something I could jump on and harangue people. I see Andrew's doing a panel as we speak. So that should be interesting. We'll see if they open that up afterwards. But yeah, it's gonna be a good week. Some things going on behind the scenes that I'm not at liberty to talk about yet, but we'll get there. Today was a very fine day for me. My son, I don't know where you all are, if this is the same, because I've grown up in the same area my whole life here in Pennsylvania, but we have what's called Act 80 days. I think that's what it's called. I don't know what happens. It's like a teacher teach-in day when the students aren't there. So tomorrow's an Act 80 day, so my son has off school, which would be nice if I didn't have to travel. I would hang out with my son, but unfortunately I do have to travel. So I had some fun hanging out. My brother came up today and we were hanging out with my son. We watched the original SpongeBob movie. Good stuff. Had a nice dinner, hung out with the fam, did a little bit of work, went and picked up the rental car. We're all good to go. So hopefully the Honda Civic gets me where I'm heading. Unforced ego, unbelievable $100 says day shift representing. Oh my goodness. What an absolute Chad and a legend. One second. It's really appreciated, unforced ego. My wife's texting me and telling me things I need to pack here tonight. Yes, I do have beef jerky for the road. Naughty Germ, thank you so much for the $5. Really appreciate it. So, yeah, it should be fun. Now, I don't know when I'll be able to tell you what I'm doing. Hopefully, it'll be in the next month or so. It'll be something that I'm at liberty to discuss. But as of right now, I'm not at liberty to discuss. And so we'll have to see what's going on with that. But I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a nice little all-day drive for me. I got a change of underwear. My wife makes sure I'm packed. I'm an idiot. Like for me, I'd be like, I got shorts, I got a t-shirt. What the hell else do I need? If this shit gets dirty, I'll stop at the store and buy more shit, right? That's my mentality. But no, we'll be good. So, long drive ahead of me tomorrow. I think I'm leaving at 9 a.m., so I don't have to wake up super early. But you know how it is. You want to have a good night's rest when it comes to driving. So Anyways, interesting day politically. We have a shutdown that I believe would start around midnight. We got a bunch of other stories going on. Turning Point USA had an event that apparently there was a suspicious package that resulted in a detonation. I believe there was a bomb threat that was called in. So that's interesting. Steven Crowder started doing his Change My Mind segment again, going back onto college campuses, which is great. I think that's what more people should do, and good for Crowder. I always liked those segments that he was doing. To be quite honest, I was more familiar with his segments than I was Charlie Kirk's. Charlie's a different personality than Steven Crowder. I don't know that anyone could fill Charlie Kirk's shoes, but Steven Crowder is a very impressive man himself, what he's doing over there with Mug Club, and he's doing awesome work, putting his money where his mouth is, going over to Rumble, free speech platform, and taking a chance over there. I think that's always admirable when you see someone that has quite a lot of success that's willing to risk it for a principle. And I think that Crowder, regardless of what you think of his particular politics, deserves to be applauded for that. Andrew's whipping soy pills ass in a debate. I wonder if I saw that coming. That's awesome. Good. So yeah, that's tentatively what we have going on. For tonight's show, I thought we'd talk a little about the shutdown and some other stories that I had. The story that I think's hilarious that's came out is sort of this idea that you have the Democrats that are continuing to rail on this video that Trump put out, which is sort of what the title of my videos are about. And we'll show you that video and then show you some of the reactions to it. Then we'll talk about the shutdown and all things like that. But we're just giving people a chance to get in here. I'd like to wait for the first 10 minutes to be able to come in. So we are trying to reach our goal of $357. Thank you so much to Unforced Ego. It's already got us $100 there. Absolute Chad, crushing it. Am I going to be doing an in real life stream going to Disneyland with Destiny? No, that is not what I'll be doing. I will not be with Destiny or any other lefty. There may be people there in real life, but it's not going to be some lefty like that. So, but those trips are private, right? So, I will say this. I think there's probably a good chance that they'll need someone to fill in for the extravaganza in the next couple days, because probably the host and the fill-in host will not be around. So, oh no, Robert Whaley, your car's shit out on you on the rush hour on a bridge. No, man, I don't miss those days. When I started driving, I remember when I was 18, I had this 92 Chevy Cavalier. This piece of shit would break down in the middle of the road all the time. And I'd always have to ask someone to get out of their car, to get behind the wheel, put it in neutral while I pushed it off the road several times. I've never had it break down on a bridge, though, where that really wasn't an option. I'm sorry to hear that, Robert Whaley. That sucks. Oh, yeah, we got a stream tonight. We didn't have the day stream because I was picking up the car and all of that good stuff. Yeah, my 92 Chevy Cavalier, little red beater. It was nice. This was before Cash for Clunkers. So you could actually find your first car for a teenager for $400 or $500. It was nice. Nowadays, if you want to get a cheap car for a teenager, you're probably looking at $4,000 or $5,000. Something that would run. But, I'm just an old man grumping here. Why do people hang a shirt or rag out the driver's side window when the car breaks down? I don't know what started it, but I know what it means. It means that they're returning for their car. So it's not just been abandoned. It means that whoever left it there intends to get a tow truck or get a mechanic or something and come back for their car. But I don't know how that tradition started. But yeah, that's what I've always been told to do. Yeah, singles, the car's broken down, but that you intend to come back for it. So, 96 Chevy Beretta, dark purple. It's a tank. Yeah, my favorite car ever was my friend had a like 79 Caprice. He wasn't allowed to drive it. Loved that car. It was emerald green. It was bench seating. The little like half window, it was just two-door, but the little half window rolled down so you could slide in and out of the car like the General Lee. It was nice. I love that car. And then I don't know what happened to it. I think my friend's dad ended up selling it. But I would have loved if that car was in the shape it was when I was a teenager, I would buy it in a heartbeat right now. Then I had a friend that had an old Buick with an 8-track player we used to cruise around in. That thing was a boat. Wow. Cost you $200 to get it towed and you had to hoof it to work? Man, what a shit day. My day seems fantastic compared to that. I didn't have really anything negative happen to me in my day. All right. We've stalled enough. Let's do it. To the show. Now, brace yourself. You're about to see something very disturbing. It's horribly disturbing. So brace yourself. Trump posted this. You ready? It's horribly disturbing. Oh, my goodness. Ready?
Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, you know? At least for a while, until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
Oh, Trump. See, this is good, Trump. That's great. That's great, Trump. Puts out that little video there. Wonderful, wonderful trolling. And boy, oh boy, did it work. It's like no one told the Democrats how to respond to trolling yet. You're supposed to lean into it. You don't go, oh my goodness, that's racisms. That's racisms. Look at that. He's got a sombrero and a mustache on Hakeem Jeffries. Oh, it's the racisms. Oh no, the racisms. No, not the racisms. Oh boy, not the racisms. Oh man, that's terrible. The poor racisms. Let's see what Hakeem had to say. Not Hakeem the Dream, Hakeem Jeffries. He's not too happy. Here we go.
It's a disgusting video, and we're going to continue to make clear bigotry will get you nowhere. We are fighting to protect the health care of the American people in the face of an unprecedented Republican assault. It's a disgusting
let's hear it again.
video,
It's disgusting.
and we're going to continue to make clear bigotry will get you nowhere. We are fighting to protect the health care of the American people in the face of an unprecedented Republican.
Get him, Hakeem. Oh, no. Oh, boy. Oh, no. We have more. Let's hear some more people. Ari Melber. You know him from that clip I always play about Trump buying X. Let's see what Ari Melber had to say.
This is Trump AI attack. It's a video. I'm not going to play the whole video because we don't find it meets our standards or is newsworthy. But I want to show before
It's
I
not
show Jeffrey's
newsworthy.
response
Why are you talking
what
about
he
it?
put up. It's basically this ridiculous, hateful kind of...
Trump's AI-generated post in red lettering with shadows. Oh, my goodness, no. Oh, no. No, say it ain't so. His AI attack. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Wow. These poor Democrats getting attacked. Next thing you know, they'll be going to college campuses and being drummed out and being shot in the neck. Oh, wait. Fucking assholes.
Bigoted, doctored image. In the video, he has the politicians saying things they don't really say. So
No.
we're the news. We're not going to tell you what it is because it's false. We have that standard. But Jeffries felt moved to respond. This is new. Here's what he said to the president. This is Trump AI attack.
No, we're not
it's a video.
Jeffries said, if you got something to say it to my face. But here's the problem, Jeffries, right? Here's the problem. It's hard to get in your face because that big ridiculous hat that you have sticking out. So it's hard to get like right up in your face to talk to your face. It's hard to see because your big ridiculous hat. But you do have a pretty good badass mustache there. The old handlebar mustache. Here we go. You hear a little of what he said. You ready? Oh, man, he's tough. He's mad. You ready? He's mad.
And Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me,
You go, yeah.
don't cop out through a racist
Oh,
and fake AI video. When I'm back in the Oval Office, say it to my face.
whoa, whoa,
Say it to my face.
whoa. No.
House Democrats,
Wow, that's the toughest I've heard a Democrat sound since I was on that panel with Connor Points, and he said he's gonna beat me up if I say he has low moral character. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Say it to my face, President Trump. Huh? Yeah. How about that? Okay, you're a piece of shit. There. Now what? You're a racist. Can we all agree? No one gives a fuck anymore. I don't. I don't give a fuck about these people shouting racism. They've overused the word to the point where it doesn't matter. Being called racist is no different at this point than being called stupid. It's like, yeah, okay, go fuck yourself. I don't care. It's just a general insult. It means nothing. Say it to my face! Get underneath that sombrero and imagine that I'm not having this cool mustache and say it to my face, President Trump. Now, allegedly, Trump bought Trump 2028 hats to his meeting with Hakeem and Schumer yesterday, which is hilarious if that's the case. Say it to my face. How about that? Why don't you say it to my face? I thought we'd start with this because it does have to do with the shutdown, and it's hilarious. But here's what I think's uniquely funny about this, or not funny. Notice how the Democrats get real pissed off about language like this. Oh my goodness, that's racism. That's racism. We're holding out because we want Medicaid, for illegals. How dare you, like, play mariachi music and put a sombrero on? How dare you? How dare you do that? That's racist. Meanwhile, these fuckers continue to call Trump and all of his supporters fascist a mere days after Charlie Kirk was assassinated by someone calling him a fascist. You see, they don't give a shit when their language is actually inciting people to violence. That they don't give a shit about. But oh my goodness, if you tell a joke, if you put a fake sombrero on someone, that's racist. Oh no, a racist dog whistle. Notice how the language against them, it's always, oh my gosh, it's so serious. How dare you? How dare you? But they can call you anything they want. And it's, oh, it's just business as usual. Their racism's actually denigrating white people, like for real. But don't put a sombrero on someone. Holy shit, that's racist. Fucking joke. Chuck Schumer talking before the shutdown here. The Democrat shutdown. Thanks so much, Dems. Let's hear what he has to say.
Yesterday, the president posted an offensive deepfake AI video of.
No, it was offensive. Oh, no. Offensive? No. Oh, my goodness. No, say it ain't so, Chuck. It was offensive. Well, there you have it.
Leader Jeffries and me, with sombreros, fake music.
He proceeds to explain why it's funny. That sombrero's fake music. The sombrero was multicolored. It was a lovely sombrero. The mustache on Mr. Jeffries was amazing. It was amazing, very believable mustache. Quite frankly, I think he would look great with a mustache like that. Horribly offensive. Horribly offensive.
Impersonating my voice through AI. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me. What a bunch of out-of-touch boomers. It wasn't me. You may be confused. It was not me. I do not have a stylish sombrero. It is not something that I own. I am looking to get one, but it wasn't me.
Talking even more lies about healthcare and immigration. Listen to this, America.
Okay, let's hear it.
Hours away from a shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Democrat.
we don't want.
We don't want. Then vote for the CR. Then vote for it. And then if you have other issues that you want funded later, bring them up. You are responsible for the shutdown because you want able-bodied adults and illegals to have access to free health care.
American people don't want. The president is busy trolling away on the internet like a 10-year-old.
You're complaining about it instead of actually going and doing anything productive, like convincing enough Democrats to sign the bill. Trump is correctly calling out that you people are responsible for the shutdown because your priorities aren't the American people. Your priorities are illegals that you hope to import as potential voters, as Schumer himself has admitted that the idea is to eventually give these illegals a pathway to citizenship.
And that's exactly why Americans are going to blame him if the government shuts down. That's another proof point. Yesterday, the president...
Oh, okay. Maybe. Shut her down. I'm looking for one more clip from Mr. Schumer. Mr. Schumer! Now here's Schumer. He's going to argue against a poll that shows that it's very interesting, right? His priority is making sure that the Democrats don't get blamed, not to actually fund the government. Now, this is uniquely hilarious because the Democrats are the ones that are out there. Every time there's a threat of a government shutdown, they're like, oh my gosh, the sky's falling. FEMA won't get their money, and kids won't get their money. Poor kids that need WIC benefits, they won't get their money. And people that need food stamps won't get their money. Oh my gosh. And he's complaining about sombreros and polls. They're the ones that say that it's important. They have an opportunity. All they have to do, all the Republicans, sans Rand Paul are on board. Why don't they sign it? Here we go.
Now, I know the leader is going to show a poll that says that Democrats will be blamed for the shutdown. There are many more polls that show Republicans are blamed. The question in that poll is biased. Biased. In the New York Times, but it's biased. If you turn the...
Look at that smile. He knows he's full of shit. The New York Times that the Democrats point to for everything. Wow, this time they're biased. Look at him. He knows he's full of shit. He knows it. Look at him. Look at that smile. He's like, yeah, I'm fucking bullshitting. He knows it. He knows he's lying. His opponents know he's lying. He knows that we know he's lying, but he'll still lie. Got to keep up appearances at all times.
That's true. I don't always believe the New York Times. You can be sure of that. Neither do you. Okay. Now, I know the leader.
Unreal. It's like, these are the same party. By the way, don't forget this. We forget this all the time. So many news stories are breaking all the time. Don't forget, this is the same party that told you there was nothing wrong with Joe Biden. This is the same guy that sits there and calls Trump a fascist and how he's horrible, authoritarian, evil, racist. And then when it shows pictures of him like at the swearing-in ceremony and stuff, he's sitting there yucking it up, laughing with Trump. He's full of shit. He's full of shit. Now, let me see. We also wanted... I got a clip here. 1 second. Okay. This is the clip I want. The great Scott Jennings. The only thing worthwhile in CNN. There's a couple conservatives now that do good. This is from June, but I want you to... So the accusation is Democrats want free health care for illegals. No, they say. No, we don't. Now, granted, these aren't Chuck Schumer and company, but this is how every conversation with the Democrat... This is what's so frustrating about them. This is what's so frustrating. They can't just be honest and tell you what they want. They have to be duplicitous and lie. So before we show the clip, where's our resident lefty, HN? Hey, HN, or any other Democrat that's watching. Do Democrats want health care for illegals? No, they'll say. No, that's not what they want. No. And then it's like pulling teeth. You have to jump through all these hoops to get them to admit, yes, that's exactly what we want. Yes. So here's a clip from Scott Jennings in June talking to some Democrats. Watch how this goes. Watch how they can't just be honest. He has to jump them through the hoops.
Everyone deserves health care.
Even illegals?
Every single person in the world deserves
Just for the
healthcare.
record, as a candidate, you're for illegal aliens getting Medicaid.
I think everyone in the world deserves
That's a
healthcare.
yes. That's a yes.
You see, it's not just illegals. Everyone in the world, everyone in the world deserves health care. So that means if someone's sick in Zimbabwe, well, you, American taxpayers, should be on the dime.
I'm such a
That's the
monster.
Democratic position.
Look how smug. I'm such a monster.
Yes, but
Yeah.
It's a Democratic
Everyone in the
position.
world
Illegal
deserves
aliens should
healthcare.
get Medicaid.
But I mean,
How is this controversial?
but
How is it controversial?
How is it controversial to say they don't want someone to die in the hospital because they can't afford
what do you
it?
think?
How's that controversial to say that illegals should have Medicare? How is that? Or Medicaid? How's that controversial? Again, these people want millions of illegals to come in, and then they say, oh, they're not using healthcare benefit. Oh, they're not getting subsidies. They're not getting welfare. And then they're like, well, of course they are. Of course we have to leave them have healthcare. And we should do that for everyone in the world. It's a right. You might say, okay, it's just this lady. All right, let's see.
Pays for health care when undocumented people show up at a hospital. Who pays for that?
We all pay for it,
Exactly.
including undocumented.
See? Now the host is like, yeah, that's what we need to do. When the illegals, all the more reason to kick their fucking asses out then. Now you're admitting it. See, we were gaslit. No, we're not paying for their health care. Now they're like, well, of course we are. Even if we don't have Medicaid, when they show up to the hospital, that cost is being put on to someone. It's us. They just admit it. Now listen.
People, because they actually contribute.
That's the point. That's the point.
We do realize that undocumented.
Who pays for the welfare system in this country generally? Taxpayers. Are you for it or not?
Can I start my logic train?
Are you for it or not?
My logic train starts with the fact that I don't want to kick 11 million people.
You see? He won't just say yes. Just answer the question. Yes, I think they should get it. Here's why. Instead, they won't say yes. When he asked that woman, do you think that illegals should get Medicaid? I think everyone in the world should have health care. Okay, I'm asking you directly. Do you think illegals should get Medicaid? I think everyone in the world should. They can't just answer. They can't answer.
Do you want illegal aliens on or not?
First of all, do I want undocumented citizens to have?
See, has changed the language. They're not illegal aliens. They're undocumented. That's what's important for him.
Healthcare, the answer is yes.
There. Like pulling teeth. Yes. Though he still didn't answer. Do you want them on Medicaid? I want them to have health care, he says.
Scott,
Okay.
if someone is
More
undocumented,
Democrats.
do you want them to not get insulin if they're diabetic?
I want Medicaid to exist first and foremost for American citizens who need it. That is what I
what about
want.
second? How about this? When the people that are picking your peaches. Yeah, I'm passionate
Very
about Americans.
passionate for the illegals.
Sorry,
No, I'm passionate for
how dare
Americans.
you?
The people that are picking your peaches, the illegals, they deserve free health care. No, they deserve a ticket home. You people gaslit us and said, no, we're not trying. They're not using resources. We don't want them to have free health care. Yes, you do, you fucking liars.
Want people to be alive. How dare you?
Passionate for the illegals. Bring more.
No, I actually want
But yes,
safe and secure borders.
You need more. To make your vision of America work, we need more illegals who get more benefits. That's your version of America.
No, what I want from America is a place that was promised to us, Scott.
To the illegals?
Like you do. No, it was
Promised to, what was this promise that was made to us that means illegals should get health care? What was that promise? I'm sorry, I must have missed that. Let's hear what he says. Before we go on, take a guess. What do you think this guy's argument's going to be at the end? And this guy right here on the right, what do you think his argument's going to be? I'll give you a clue. He's a Democrat. So at the end of the day, he's going to make an argument that basically implies that this country is racist. It's racisms. Watch and see how he does it.
promised to us. It was promised to us, not us, me and you, black and white, brown. Scott, do you think that your family was born here? You weren't born here, Scott.
I was born in
First of all, where does your family come from? My family wasn't born here.
Now we have the, okay, because your ancestors immigrated here. Now we owe the entire world. The promise was the entire world. And all legals get health care because your family, at some point in your lineage, were immigrants. So now illegals have to have health care. You see, on one hand, they're like, oh, we don't say that. He just gave that. Okay, I guess based on the same rationale, then, well, we can't keep illegals out, right? We were promised that people be allowed to come to this country, which means if millions of illegals want to come, we have to let them in. Now, they know this is a losing position. It's the same as the trans shit. They haven't changed their minds. They just look and say, oh, fuck, this doesn't pull well for us. So we'll pretend that we're not for it right now. But just listen to them argue. This is what they mean. We should have open borders because your ancestors at one point were immigrants. Everyone's were unless you're native, so. But watch how it finishes, predictably.
My
Brother,
family was actually from Sierra Leone.
You're making
Scott,
a passionate argument
correct
for a
about what
country
our country's
built on unfettered illegal immigration, and that is not
no,
anywhere
our
near
country,
a politically popular
Our
position.
country is built on immigration, period.
What kind?
Period.
What kind?
Oh, and well, first of all, before we go to commercial, what kind? What kind of immigration was I brought here?
You're already
with?
in the hole. You sure you don't want to stop
No,
digging?
because it was slavery. That's not immigration.
There it is. There it is. Slavery. When all else fails, right?
Come on.
Well, okay.
Come on, what?
All right, there's a lot to be said.
Come on.
Hold on.
No, but you just can't
We-
say come on when somebody's like, my family was brought here in chains. The answer's not come on.
Yes, the answer is come on, go fuck yourself. We're tired of hearing of your grievance. We've heard this shit for generations. Go fuck yourself. We're tired of the screams of racism. Fuck you. It doesn't work anymore. Shut the fuck up. My family came here as slaves, and so therefore we have to have open borders and allow illegals to come pouring in and have healthcare for all illegals. Go fuck yourself. How about that? Fuck you. No, the fact that your family generations ago were slaves does not in any way, shape, or form speak to whether or not we should have free health care for illegals. He says this was the promise we were all promised as Americans. That everyone in the world be allowed to come here and get health care. That's his argument. The fact that we had slavery in the first place seems to suggest that that's bullshit. Or is his argument really the same people that owned slaves were also like, but we need to provide free healthcare for the rest of the world. We need to have open borders that anyone wants to come here. Is that his argument? It doesn't even have to make sense in his head, right? All he has to say is like, open borders because it's a nice thing to do, and healthcare for illegals because if they're going to be here, then we have to give them healthcare, and the country is founded on immigration, and if you challenge me on that, my family were slaves, so fuck you? But this is what's so just be honest. Just say that. Hey, fuck this country. This country sucks. It was founded on slavery, in my opinion. And to the extent that it's good, it was because of unfettered immigration. And I want that to continue. Then say it. And yes, I want all these people to have access to our welfare system, including free health care. Yep. Then say that. And let's see how popular it is. Don't couch your fucking language. Say it with your chest. And let's see if that's what the American people support. Don't fucking gaslight us. Don't try to shame people. Slavery and racism and fuck you. Make your argument. This is who these fucking people are. They're incapable of being honest about what they think. It's the same with gun control. Just say you don't want any of us to own guns. Just fucking say it. But they won't. They'll couch it. Assault weapons. Define assault weapon. Well, anything that has a magazine of more than 6 shots. Okay, like a handgun? Like a Glock? Well, they know it's not popular. Now, I could be wrong. I haven't looked into it much. But Canada, right, they had a gun registry, and they were told, don't worry, though, we're not going to confiscate your guns. We're not going to. And then step by step, now they're like, okay, turn in your guns, turn in your rifles. Same thing. They know their positions are unpopular, so they lie. Oh, no, we would never do that. They'll call you a fucking racist. How dare you suggest that these illegals will one day be allowed to vote? How dare you? That's called great replacement theory, and that's racist. That's bullshit. It's racist. Here's Chuck Schumer during the election. This election, going into the 2024 election. Here's Chuck Schumer. The leader of the Democrats, other than Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, which, let's be clear, it wasn't Biden.
Now more than ever, we're short of workers. We have a population that is not reproducing it on its own with the same level that it used to. The only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are here.
Now, that was a racist conspiracy theory. If you said it, they'll brag about it. They'll fucking openly brag about it. They're like, you can find clip after clip of them. I'm not going to dig it up now. I have them saved somewhere. Clip after clip of Democrats being like, oh, we estimate within like 20 years, whites will be a minority in Texas. That's great. We're bringing in people that aren't white in these states like Texas and California. Awesome. And then if you're like, I don't think that's a good thing, they're like, racist. Oh, that's great replacement. That's racism. You can't say that. Yes, we can admit that that's what we're doing, and we can celebrate it, but if you notice it, then you're a racist. They're just full of shit, and we're tired of this. Everything's racism. We don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I hope you don't. I don't give a fuck. Get out your fucking maracas and your sombrero and listen to some mariachi music and fucking celebrate the shutdown tonight. Sounds great to me. Well, that's racist. Fuck you. How about that? Tired of walking on eggshells about this shit. Go fuck yourselves. The reason they think everything's racist is because they themselves are racist. So they assume everyone else is, to the extent that they are. Remember Jamal Bowman? He of pulling the fire alarm? Not about the shutdown, but this is an excellent clip from earlier in the week. Now, what he's going to do is explain to you here why things like obesity, diabetes, heart disease are more prevalent in the black community, right? Now listen to Jamal Bowman. He's going to explain it to you. Ready? Now, they have to let him go because if someone would push back, he would run for a fire alarm and pull it to get out of the argument. Here we go.
Catholic pro-life ministries bombed.
We are not dealing with America's original sin and its disease of hate and racism towards black and brown people and sexism towards women and anti-LGBTQ sentiment. We are not dealing with that.
See? It's all of it. It's, it's abuse against the original sin of not allowing men to play in women's sports and not allowing children to have hormone blockers and chop their dick off. Those original sins like slavery and abuse against women. It's all of it. All the cultural Marxist bullshit talking. This is all they have. They can't make arguments. It's always like, it's racist, it's sexist, it's homophobic, that's everything. Fuck these people. Fuck them. Listen to them. It gets even better. Listen.
Your colleagues in the Republican Party do not hold each other accountable when it comes to the racism that comes from the party on a consistent basis.
Congressman, I mean, where are you on
You can't be calm about this. I'm a black man in America.
See, I'm black. I don't have to make sense. I'm emotional. I'm a black man in America. I don't have to make sense. What the fuck are you talking about?
The reason why heart disease,
I'm white, I can't comment
listen to what I'm saying. The reason why heart disease and cancer and obesity and diabetes are bigger in the black community is because of the stress we carry from having to deal with being called the N-word directly or indirectly every day.
Now, did you hear that? Let me play that again for you. You might say, Well, how is it that racism causes heart disease? Is there going to be some argument that black people are more malnourished? They get access to worse food because of racism. Their medical facilities are worse. No. He makes a different claim. Listen to this. Why is, like, say, diabetes and heart disease so bad in the black community? Here you go. You ready?
And where are you on
You
the, where
can't
are
be
the
calm
assassination
about
attempts?
this. I'm a black man in America. The reason why heart disease...
I'm white, I can't comment on
Listen
it.
to what I'm saying.
Is that what
The
you're
reason
saying?
why heart disease and cancer
pretty
and
racist.
obesity
I can't
and
comment on it.
diabetes are bigger in the black community is because of the stress we carry from having to deal with being called the N-word directly or indirectly every day. If you're...
Okay, I'm convinced, Bowman. Here's what we'll do. No more welfare programs to black Americans, but we'll ban the N-word. So no more rap music, right? And there, just like that, there won't be any medical problems in the black community, right? Seems fair enough. After all, the only reason that you're impoverished or, that there's violence in the black community or that there's cancer in the black community or there's diabetes or that there's heart disease is because they're indirectly or directly being called the N-word. Fair enough? Sure. No more black music using the N-word. Fine, great. Just think how much less they'll be called the N-word. Their future's really looking great in the black community, right? I mean, what do you even say to that? Why should we even have to take this shit seriously? Laugh at these motherfucking people. Now, here's what's funny. Here, let's play a little more.
colleagues would listen and try to learn and engage and grow and stop being so hateful.
This guy right here, this guy on the right, you know what he's thinking he should say right now? He's like, you know what? This guy's so stupid. I think I'll give him diabetes. I know a way. What a weapon. Jamal Bowman, he's probably eating right, eating a low-carb diet, exercising every day. But he appears to be a little overweight, and it's just because people have called him the N-word, either directly or indirectly. Now his health's distraught. It's not his fault. People use the N-word. He heard it. He was driving down the road and he heard a 50 Cent song. Oh, shit. Oh, no. My weight just went up. My cholesterol just went up. I can't believe it. Oh, boy. Yeah, it's the black men that are fit. They just never heard the N-word, apparently. They're like, I'm sorry, what word? I've never heard that. Thankfully, no one's ever called Snoop Dogg the N-word. He looks like he's not very overweight. Probably doesn't have heart disease or diabetes. It's a fucking joke. Meanwhile, these people call you fascist, Nazis, racist, homophobe, bigot. Well, people are killing you using that language, and they're like, we don't see the problem. We don't see the problem at all. Don't care. There's a lockdown. Oh, Trump put a sombrero on Hakeem Jeffries. That's racist. Fuck you. I don't give a shit. Now, here's the thing. There was a time in this country where people took accusations of racism seriously. Prior to the election of Barack Obama, most metrics showed race relations they're never going to be perfect, but they were getting better. And then Obama and Trayvon Martin could have been my son. And, remember the beer summit where he had a police officer that saw a black man on a college campus he thought was breaking into a house and stopped him, but it turned out it was the black guy's house and we need to have a conversation about race relations. Eric Holder, Obama's attorney general, said this country's too cowardly to have a conversation about race. No, that's not true. Many people, myself included, would be more than happy to have a conversation about race with Eric Holder. What he really means is we won't capitulate to every one of his arguments. We'll disagree with him. And until the country just totally agrees with racist-ass Eric Holder, well, then we must be racist. Oh, yeah, Casimir. We're cheering for Shutdown tonight. Hell yeah. Then we went through the Obama years, and oh my gosh, the worst thing you could be called is a racist. It's like the Scarlet Letter. Now most people just don't give a shit. Fuck you. The most racist people in the world shout racism at you. Fuck them. Who cares what they think? They can't make an argument. They think that's the get out of jail free card. We don't have to make an argument. We don't have to obey the law. We don't have to obey the rules of common courtesy. Everybody knows it. Oh boy, here's an incident where a black person used an act of violence. I wonder what their excuse will be. Oh, 90% of the time, that person called me the N-word. Oh, we're all supposed to go, well then. Well, that explains it. That explains it. I mean, we can't expect adults to have self-control and not use violence. If someone uses a word they don't like, we can't expect that. Oh, wait, yes, I can expect that because I'm not a fucking racist. I refuse to embrace this bigotry of low expectations that all of a sudden I have to be like, well, all personal responsibility out the window because someone said a word you don't like. Fuck you. No. That's racist. And if it is true that there are black people through culture that now feel that they're entitled to use violence because someone uses a word they don't like, then we shouldn't be around those people. It's not ubiquitous amongst all black people. I know black people that wouldn't haul off and physically attack me if they heard a word they don't like. If there's a white person, that there's a word that I could say, like if I use the word, I knew a girl once that said this, if anyone ever calls me a bitch, I'm going to punch him in the face. And I'm like, yeah, then you should go to jail. That's not how things work. Sorry. We don't want to be around your ass. No. Fuck you. If your argument is that we can't have a conversation about healthcare in this country without you going, the reason that black people can't have like personal agency over their healthcare is because they're worried they'll be called the N-word, then fuck you. You're out of the conversation. I have no time of day for you. You have illustrated that you are too stupid or too racist to engage in the conversation in any productive manner. Goodbye. I don't give a fuck what you say on the subject anymore. I don't care if you come back with, actually, here's my proposal. I don't want to hear it. Fuck you. Oh, well, the reason we have diabetes is because we are directly called the N-word. Goodbye. See ya. Yes. Well, it's not just black folks. We heard Connor say this the other day. You won't say I'm of low moral character in person or I'll beat the shit out of you. Want to bet? By the way, Connor, I believe, said at one point he would be interested in running for office. Can you imagine that? You're on the debate stage running for Congress, and your opponent says, I believe my opponent here is of low moral standing. He's taken money from such and such a group. What'd you say? Huh? What a tough guy. If you're watching this and you're black, don't fall for this bullshit. It's one of the most dystopian cultural talking points that we have. Well, you can't have any personal agency because racism, so nothing's your fault. What a terrible thing to tell multiple generations of people. What a fucking horrible, insidious thing to say to them. In fact, if I was a white racist that wanted to keep black people down, that's what I would convince them. Don't worry about trying to improve your own lot in life. After all, nothing's fair. Everything's racist, so nothing's your fault. What a fucking insidious thing to say to people. Horrible. What a load of shit. Anyone who embraces that mentality is putting themselves on a path that's going to be real difficult to come back from. Now, I've talked about it a lot in this show, but the truth is, by virtue of being born in the United States, at this point in history, I'm 40, so I was born in 1984, 41 I am. I was born in 84. I knew Andrew would kill his debate. Is he still going? I'm glad. But we're very lucky to be alive in the United States this time. You realize that, most of human history, life was brutal. You realize that, right? And it's not because we have the best government or shit. It's because we've had all sorts of advancements, primarily because of free markets, that have made us incredibly wealthy. And by wealthy, I don't just mean money. I mean, things like the amount of energy we need to expend for necessary resources like food and energy is way lower than our ancestors was. Which means that we have more time for quality of life shit, less people starving to death, higher life expectancy, etc. The real privilege that you have in life are things like this. You're born in today's era. You're born in a first world country like the United States. Are you relatively healthy? In other words, you weren't born with a crippling, debilitative disease. There's a lot of that. That sucks. I spent 16 years working with adults with autism and other developmental disabilities. You want to talk about privilege? Here are people through no fault of their own was given a shitty lot in life. And some of them are the happiest people you've ever met. You know what they want? A job, friends, a girlfriend, a boyfriend. Spend time with their family. They're not sitting around going, I'm a victim. Life fucked me. Here's another thing that you're privileged to have. Parents that gave a shit. I was very lucky. I didn't have wealthy parents, but I had two parents that gave a shit. That's it. That makes me amongst the most privileged person that's ever existed. And then there's a bunch of other shit just through luck and happen chance primarily that have made my life amazing, I think. Even though I'm not a very wealthy person or any shit like that. I have a wonderful wife. I have a wonderful son who was born relatively healthy. I say it all the time. If I die tonight, on stream right here, if I would pass away, I'm amongst one of the luckiest people that have ever existed on this planet. What am I going to do? Sit around and bitch because I wasn't born to a wealthy family? Because I don't have a legacy family that could get me into Ivy League schools or into politics? What the fuck? I could sit here and talk about, well, my grandfather got fucked over working in coal mines. True. And? What's the point? When you hear these people like black Americans today, particularly the ones you see on television, how do you think that dude's doing, by the way? Jamal Bowman. How do you think he's doing? Much like me, he don't look like he's missing many meals. He was a congressman, a law-breaking piece of shit. Now he's got a gig on CNN. But man, his life's so hard. Michelle Obama, her life's hard. Oprah, her life's hard. Fuck these people. What are they really arguing about? Well, you see, I'm amongst the 99.993% of the most luckiest people that have ever existed. But if I was white, I'd be 99.994% of the most luckiest that ever lived. So I'm going to argue over that 1/1000th of a percent. I don't have much in way of life advice. Go to church. Get a good social group in real life. Turn off the internet from time to time and get real life friends and go out and do real stuff in the real world. Try to help those around you. Be helpful to your family, to your neighbors. Simple shit. That's all I got. I'm no fucking self-help guru. I have enough shit going on in my life. Who the hell's going to listen to some fat dude like me for life advice, you know? But here's a little added one that I could give. You can't really control when life throws you curveballs. Like, you might be Elon Musk, and if you pull out of your driveway tomorrow and some tractor trailer T-bones you, you could be paralyzed the rest of your life or dead. Then where did all your money and privilege get you? In that moment? It's the way life is. It's not fair. It's not. Horrible shit happens to people. I have not had tragedy strike me like so many people I know. Had a sibling die young, or a parent die when they were young, or God forbid a child die when they were young, or diagnosed with some horrible disease that negatively affected their life in a terrible way. Or maybe through no fault of their own, they ended up divorced and they don't get access to seeing their kids as much as they want. Who knows? You can't control sometimes. You could put yourself in a good position. For example, if you're an alcoholic and you're driving drunk, chances of you getting in an automobile accident that fucks up your life much higher. But all you could do is prepare yourself to be in a good position, and you just got to roll with the punches. If you sit around and constantly say, it's not fair, life fucked me, how do you think that's going to end up? The chances of you being successful with that mentality are far less than if your attitude is like, look, that fucking sucked, but what can I do? Are there things that I could do moving forward to put myself in a better position? It doesn't mean you're guaranteed success. Maybe you do everything right. You work hard, and then you're in another car wreck. I knew a guy, this is a true story, I knew a guy, awesome dude. And he had a job he really liked. It might sound silly to you guys, but he loved this job. And his job was that he worked for Walmart. He started as just a person, like retail, regular guy who was stocking shelves and shit, you know? And he had worked his way up after several years to where he was one of the people that was like a manager that when they were building new Walmarts, he would first go to the site and help do the planning. And so he got like paid like per diem. He got meal vouchers, got put up in hotels, was making for this area, pretty good salary. He loved it. He really enjoyed this job. One of the things he liked doing was ride a motorcycle. One day he's driving a road around here, 3 minutes away from where I'm at. And some girl's on her cell phone and she's trying to pull into this shop. He's on his motorcycle going this way. The girl, not looking at the road, turns right in front of him. He hits this car going plus 40 mile an hour and just flips completely over it. Fucked up his life. They didn't know if he was going to make it. That's how bad the wreck was. He ended up having chronic pain, screwed up the use of his hand, screwed up his back. He was off work for so long, his job wasn't available when he came back. They told him he had to start back at the store. Now, what's he supposed to do with his life? It's not his fault. He did nothing wrong. He had his helmet on. His bike was safe. He was driving the speed limit. Wrong place, wrong time. Some girl was on the phone. What's he supposed to do? Well, it's not fair. This is bullshit. sit around in misery the rest of his life? How do you think that'll work? It's not fair. If you look at my life compared to his, it's not fair. It could have been me, but it wasn't. Why is that? I don't know. There's no reason for it. There's none. It's not karma. You know, people say everything's God's plan. Maybe. But outside of that, like, what do you say? And yet there are these people that just want to, everything's about, well, I'm black, so, here, tell them, Jamal Bowman, why is heart disease and diabetes and shit like that bad in the black community? Go ahead.
And where are you on?
You
where
can't
are the
be calm
assassination
about
attempts?
this. I'm a black man in America. The reason why heart disease...
I'm white, I can't comment
Listen
on
to
it.
what I'm saying.
What
The
you're
reason
saying.
why heart disease and cancer
Pretty
and
racist.
obesity
I can't
and
comment on it.
diabetes are bigger in the black community is because of the stress we carry from having to deal with being called the N-word directly or indirectly every day.
I didn't do anything wrong. It's not my fault. I'm called the N-word. So what'd you expect? Same for my community. We're talking about a community where it's what, like over 70% of children are born out of wedlock? Increasingly, black children don't have good male role models, father figures in the home. And then culturally, we have alleged black leaders saying shit like this. Look, young man, it's not your fault. The country's systemically racist. Someone might call you the N-word someday, so it's not your fault. Nothing's your fault. Oh, you have diabetes? Well, that's because the stress from being called the N-word. It's not your fault. There was nothing you could have done. What do you think's going to happen when that's the generational message that you're putting to people in the black community? Don't go out and work hard. Here's welfare. Nothing's your fault. You're entitled to everything. It's fucking insidious. So to bring it all back to tonight, what we're talking about.
Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, you know? At least for a while, until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
Yesterday, the president posted an offensive deepfake AI video of Leader Jeffries and me, with sombreros, fake music, impersonating my voice through AI. It wasn't me.
Really?
Talking even more lies about health care and immigration. Listen to this, America. Hours away from a shutdown, which we don't want, the American people don't want, The president is busy trolling away on the internet like a 10-year-old. And that's exactly why Americans are going to blame him if the government shuts down.
It's offensive. Oh my goodness, it's offensive. It's racist. Fuck you, Schumer. So I say, get your favorite bottle of tequila. Grab your Walkman, put on your favorite mariachi CD, get on your sombrero, grab some maracas, and let's party, baby, because we're only 45 minutes away from another government shutdown. Excelente! Fuck these people and their yelling of offensive and racism, and I just don't give a shit. Who would at this point? Who would give a shit? All right. Super chats, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing Wimpy tonight. Now listen, I already read the first two, but Unforced Ego gave $100 to start the show at 10:02. It's now 11:12. We're an hour and 10 minutes later, and we only have $37 more. For shame. Get those super chats in. AJC, $10 says, for the sombrero fund, thank you. I'm a hunter. $10 says, we should go ahead and impeach every single one of these Democrats for holding the American people hostage because they can't get their money to illegal immigrants and lazy bums. I'm a hunter. $10 says, it's wild to see a black Democrat who boohoo whines and cries about racism and slavery in the past advocating for literal slave labor for illegal immigrants. Well, you know, who else is going to pick the fruit and clean their toilets, right? From Bumbly, $2 says, I was going to give this to Andrew, but fuck that guy. No comment. Unforced Ego, another $21 says, Mr. Noor, can you explain to me how Democrats filibustering the CR is Republicans shutting down the government? Are they? It takes 60 to break the filibuster. Well, their argument is, I'll make their argument for you, but first let's start this. All right. If you have Republicans in control of the Congress and a Republican president, and there's a shutdown, the Democrats say that's Republicans' fault. If you have Democrats in the presidency and Democrats control Congress, and there's a shutdown, Democrats say it's Republicans' fault. If you have a Republican Congress but a Democrat president and there's a shutdown, then that too is Republicans' fault. But if you have a Democrat president and a Republican Congress, that too is Republicans' fault. Starting to get that? The argument is, you didn't give us everything we wanted, and so therefore, it's your fault that there's a shutdown. That's the argument. Largest government shutdown we've had in history was because Democrats refused to pass the bill to give Trump funding for a border wall. They said it was racist. So they refused to pass the budget. We had a shutdown. They said, but that's Trump's fault. Trump should take out the border wall funding. Now, the truth is, both sides use this as leverage. Both sides think, oh, a shutdown would be bad for us. We'll get blamed by our voters. So we don't want a shutdown. And so both sides say, well, we could use that as a threat. It's sort of like, I explained this yesterday, it's sort of like when a union's negotiating with ownership for pay increases for their employees. They're like, we'll go on strike. Now, strike's bad for the workers. They don't get paid. But strike's bad for the owners. They're not making products and making money. So you're willing to risk the strike on both sides to increase your negotiating status. Democrats always play the game, oh, Republicans want to shut down. In this point, it's quite simple. All but one Republican's on board. The Republican House has passed it. The Republican Senate's on board. Several Democrats are on board. We're just missing 4 or 5 Democrats. That's it. They can end the shutdown right now by saying, okay, we'll vote for it. They won't. Problem is, this time, the American people aren't buying it, it seems, like they normally have. What happens is the Democrats run out there and go, oh, media, tell them it's all Republicans' fault. And then Republicans buy it. And you got Jimmy Kimmel on the show crying, oh my God, kids won't get their WIC benefits. Oh, it's horrible. Then when Democrats do a shutdown, it's, well, you know, that wall's racist, so. You don't think that our system's fucked up anyways, that it always comes down, like, shouldn't there be a balanced budget? Shouldn't it be something that's, like, done in a timely fashion and not waiting till the last minute every single time to have, like, an emergency CR? Look something up here for a second. Elizabeth Warren, I'm introducing a bill to transfer all the funding from Trump's racist border wall to HHS and USAID to combat coronavirus. Ilhan Omar, ban all funding for the racist border wall in response to Pentagon diverting funds. Senator Warren, again, the Pentagon could divert billions into Trump's racist border wall and no one blinks an eye. Elizabeth Warren, again, I introduced legislation that would redirect funds from Trump's racist border wall to help stop the spread of the virus. Elizabeth Warren, again, handing out $500 million paint job contract to his supporters is corruption. And Trump's monument to hate in the border in black or any other color is a giant waste of money. I announced a bill to defund Trump's racist border wall. Jeff Malarkey. Democrats support border security, not racist symbol border wall. Colin Allred. The idea that we're going to trade DACA for a racist wall, I will personally tear down the wall if it's enacted, of creating a pathway to citizenship. Joe Biden criticized Trump's immigration policy, including the wall, as invoking racist invective to describe anyone south of the Rio Grande. Raul Grijalva called the wall a racist political stunt that caused immeasurable and irreparable harm to the environment and cultural sites. House Speaker Pelosi described Trump's borders wall as discriminatory about where people come from. I'm sorry, HN, you were saying? You were saying, HN. Please. Go ahead. Now, your claim was no one said the wall was racist. So I just give you a list of prominent Democrats. Okay, point well taken, but I don't think anyone still believes it's racist. Would you like to call in, HN? How about that you would like to call in? That sounds great. Why don't you call in, HN? HN says no one called the wall racist, and now it's, oh, okay, some people. So why don't you call in, HN? How about that? Would you like to call in this evening? What do you think, HN? Would you like to call in? How would you like to call in this fine evening, HN? I don't want to call in today, he says. Well, that's unfortunate. See ya. Thanks for your contributions to the show, HN. Now, Unforced Ego says, good of him for admitting he was wrong. No, that's not what happened. What he did is a fucking liar. He knew goddamn well that people called the border wall racist. He knew it. He's just hoping, this is what the Democrats do. They're hoping that you can't provide the receipts. That's all. That's what he's doing. Fuck him. Liar. Scumbag. He knew that they called it racist. Everyone here knew it. Every Democrat knows it. Republicans know it. It was a common talking point. He gets called out on his blatant, dishonest bullshit, and then goes, oh, okay. I don't think anyone still believes it's racist. Of course, they never believed it was racist in the first place, HN. That's the fucking point. Part of Kamala Harris's border strategy running in 2024 was funding for parts of a wall. They never believed it was racist. They didn't even believe it was ineffective. Quite to the contrary. They weren't worried it'd be ineffective. They were worried it would be effective. HN's just a piece of shit. This is what these people always do. It's the same fucking story over. No one supported lockdowns. No one did that. Then when you bring up receipts, okay, maybe they did, but it's different now. Same old bullshit. Same old shit. Fuck them. Could have said, really, who called it racist? I don't remember that. But no, he said, no one called it racist. Well, that took exactly 3 minutes. HN could try his luck some other evening. And then to say, well, okay, they called it racist, but they don't believe it now. So what, they believed it then? What's changed? Explain to me why Elizabeth Warren no longer feels that a border wall is racist. What changed? From 5 years. In 2020, she said it's racist. Now she's like, it's not racist? What exactly happened? Ilan Amar, February 2025. Trump's wall is a racist symbol of division, and his second-term revival is just more hate dressed to security. Bernie Sanders, April 2025. He voted against resolutions funding a wall extension, calling it, quote, a racist boondoggle that diverts from real needs like healthcare. AOC, June 2025, says, this isn't security, this is Trump's racist fever dream, ripping families apart again. On military use for wall construction. Beto O'Rourke, January 2025. The wall is a racist vanity project. Second verse, same as the first verse. Whoopsie daisy. But HN told us no one believes that now. Huh. I suppose just another whoopsie there from HN, right? Another whoopsie there. No one said it was racist. Okay, they said it was racist, but no one still believes that. Okay, they're saying it, but what's the next excuse going to be? Well, we won't know because he's not here. Now we won't know. It's all so tiresome to fucking deal with these people. It's so fucking tiresome. Just over it. Oh, we'll bring the sack of shit back. If I can find him. Maybe not. Mm-hmm. Little mini name. It's hard to find. There we go. All right, super chats. Zachary Galpy, $10. Great to hear from you. $10 says, "What's good with federal workers getting let go en masse?" Now, I heard 100,000 resigned today, but I think a lot of this was people that took the 1 year package, and so they are officially resigning. But hey, 100,000 resigning, goodbye me. Zach, for another $5 says, "I meant let's go with federal workers let go en masse." Yep. From Bumbly, $5 says, "Best show on YouTube. We try." And Bumbly then $2 says, "W timeout, FUHN." The chat of the week, Mr. B, $10 says, "I muted HN long ago and still have to see his BS somehow." I'm shaking my head. How much can I donate to get him permabanned? I don't do that. Like, if you donate like $5 million, we consider it. Land O'Lakes, $5 says, "They said it, but it's a good thing." Yep, that's always the case. Didn't happen. Okay, it happened, but sacks of shit do have uses. You can clean them out and use the sack again. So we're on the precipice of a shutdown here. We'll talk more about that, hopefully, once it's official. But there are other things to talk about. I thought this story, while we're on the racism thing, though, here, let's not quite accusations of racism, but more fucking bullshit from the everything, cultural Marxism, everything's an ism. Watch this shit. Now, this is a Democrat witness that's brought up to talk about effective policing and how we need to have other forms of policing other than just the traditional police. Josh Hawley does an amazing job here. I don't know if anyone saw this. This is fantastic. I think it was from yesterday or today. Right? Here we go.
Comprehensive approach is defunding the police, which is what this says. The entire time. This is so typical of what the Democrats do now. After your policies have transparently failed and led to the deaths of millions of Americans, now you say you've never heard of defunding the police. Your own report recommends it on page after page after page. Let me ask about something else you say. Here's what you say we ought to invest in. Instead of funding the police, here's what we ought to invest in. We need to invest in programs that acknowledge the need for safe space initiatives led by lesbian, gay, bisexual, two-spirit, trans, and gender nonconforming people. What's two-spirit?
Now, this is something that I've done to people. People will put these Facebook posts up and they'll say things like, "You need to respect the two-spirited. You need to respect the neurodivergent." And I'll ask them, like, "What's that mean? If you're demanding that I respect them, can you tell me what that means?" So, okay. So we need to divert funds from police to communities of lesbians, people of color, and two-spirited people. So what's that? Now this is the recommendations that this man and his group have made. So surely he's going to be able to not only explain to us what a two-spirited person is, but why it's important to make sure that they get funds, right? You can see his statement there. It says, "Policymakers can support stabilizing the employment of violence interrupters, outreach workers, and credible messengers on the front line." In other words, don't give it to police, give it to these other groups. Policymakers must pass local policies to fund and work with frontline activists and technical assistants and providers to conduct a culturally competent, community-wide risk assessment, just as you would for any disease, identifying the most salient risk factors and environmental root causes of gun violence among the communities and individuals most harmed. Identify or acknowledge the need for safe space initiatives led by lesbian, gay, bisexual, two-spirit, trans, and gender non-forming people who are left out of many violence prevention efforts, but at the highest risk of being harmed. Develop a triage of long-term strategic plan to treat those risk factors and environmental root causes as a means to prevent the spread of gun violence. Now, he's not just saying that we should divert money to organizations from police that include lesbian, gay, bisexual, two-spirit. He said they must lead. And because they're at the most risk for gun violence. Okay. So then if someone's suggesting that, all right, so we have a problem with gun violence. And one side's like, we should probably have police in those areas trying to curb down on this violence. The other side says, that's a mistake. No, that'll make things worse. Instead, take that money you were going to spend on the police, and here's what you do. You give it to lesbians and bisexuals and transsexuals and two-spirited people. Because they're most affected. And if you let them lead, then we'll be able to resolve the problem. Okay? A precursor to how would that solve the problem is, what are those people? So can you define two-spirited? Now, this isn't a term that's used flippantly. This is a serious proposal on a serious issue, gun violence. Unless this is just bullshit, like all these HR fucking statements in every corporation in this country, and it's just some feel-good nonsense hippie bullshit, but it wouldn't be that, right? I mean, we're talking about gun violence. They're suggesting not funding police or taking funds away from police, trying to prevent gun violence. So we're going to give it to these groups. So the precursor for explaining how this program would work would be saying, here are the groups that we're giving to, and let me explain what that means. So surely this man whose group on this very important issue of gun violence suggested divert money from police to two-spirited leaders is going to be able to explain not only how that would work, but what two-spirited is, right? Let's hear the response.
Well, look, I don't know exactly. You guys are pulling some interesting quotes.
This
here.
is from your report.
Look at the.
What are you guys doing pulling this weird shit? Your report! I mean, that's not fair to pull this weird shit. That's crazy bullshit. This is your fucking report. This is why you were called by the Democrats as an expert witness. How dare you hold me to the words that I said in my policy proposal?
If you look at the report, the focus is on investing in violence intervention, outreach workers.
What is you say that you shouldn't invest in the police, but we ought to invest in two-spirit community programs that acknowledge two-spirit.
Look, we are not going to discriminate against that. We're not going to discriminate against any nonprofit that
what
wants
is
to
a
help us prevent violence.
What is two-spirit? You say don't fund the police, but do fund programs that create safe spaces for two-spirit people. What is? I just want to know. I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is.
Well, I honestly, I'm not completely aware of the language or
you
the
wrote the
spirit of how that was
report.
written. But what I'm telling you is that what
is a two-spirit individual? I mean, really, this is your policymaker's playbook. You are the witness called by the Democrats on this committee, so I assume you reflect their views. Well, you don't want to fund the police. You want to fund safe spaces for two-spirit individuals. What is a two-spirit person?
I feel like I'm looking at a two-faced individual because you talk about reducing
Oh, no, sir.
violence.
You're looking at somebody who's reading you your own words, and I'd like to hear an answer.
Programs.
Here's the answer. The answer is you don't have any solutions. You want to invest in gobbledygook and take away money from police officers who actually keep our communities safe, and when you're called on the record, you deny it.
They don't want police because they don't give a fuck about the violence. They think police are racist. They want the little racist or the black violence to proliferate. They're perfectly fine with it. If black violence would go down, how would the racial grievance industry still collect money? So get rid of the police. And then when the program gets worse, they'll say, well, the problem is you didn't put us in charge enough. More money. To Democrat, no. Did you hear him? He said, we're not gonna refuse to take help from any nonprofit. Yes, we are aware that that's what this is about. Kicking money to bullshit causes for slush funds for these fucking groups of parasites in our world, in our country, these fucking academic HR pieces of shit that don't solve anything. This hippie fucking nonsense. oh, instead of investing in police, we just need to invest in lesbian, trans, two-spirited leaders. That would solve the problem. It was never serious. Fuck you. And then when you bring their own bullshit in front of their face, they're like, oh, you expect me to know what this bullshit means? Come on now. We all know it's bullshit. That's why he's so, he knows what he's thinking in that moment. It's like, come on, Holly. You know this is fucking bullshit. You know how the game's played. You know it's all bullshit. We don't give a fuck about two-spirited people. We don't give a fuck about lesbian leaders and nonviolent initiatives. That's just the bullshit we're supposed to say because we play identity politics. We're just checking the boxes of the shit we have to say. We don't give a fuck. And he knows Holly knows that, but he's like, come on, man. Don't fucking do this to me in front of people. You're two-faced. You're two-faced. Because that's the game. The game is we all know it's bullshit, but we have to pretend it's not. Now look, I liked my previous line of work. I did. My time spent working with adults with disabilities, autism, etc. Some of the best time I've ever had in my life. Meaningful relationships. It taught me a lot about myself. I thought it was valuable work. I'll stand by it. And there's a lot of things. I worked for 2 companies. There's a lot of things that those companies did well. But I'm here to tell you, there was a lot of HR type bullshit. There were a lot of trainings about proper pronoun usage and all this fucking garbage. And someday, maybe I'll talk about it more. I think a lot of these people are very vulnerable and susceptible to influence when it comes to convincing people that maybe you're not the right gender. And it's fucked up. But man, did I hate this HR bullshit. Oh, and everybody knew it was bullshit. Everyone knows it. But you got to sit through the trainings. Everyone has to sit there rolling their eyes like, yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, uh-huh. We all know it's shit. All of us. $1 billion industries. $1 billion of just people telling you shit that everyone, 95% of people are like, this is abject bullshit. It's like Holly said, it's gobbledygook fucking nonsense. Well, if you're starting a project at our company here, make sure that you have marginalized community members in positions of leadership. And so make sure you ask people what communities they're in, right? If they're two-spirited, we don't have a lot of that. So make sure you're putting them in positions of leadership. Oh, fuck yourself. We all know it's bullshit. Here we're talking about a serious issue. What's the fucking left's real solution to violence in inner city black communities? What's their solution? I'm open to hear it. Reparations, just send a shitload of money. That ain't gonna fix it. We all know that. So what's the solution? I debated people back in 2004, 2005 in collegiate debate that were seriously advocating for abolishing prisons. That's their argument. Abolish prisons. How's that going to work? There was another one I saw. Let's see if I can find it. No, I didn't save it, did I? I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. There was this woman that was doing a similar thing, testifying in front of Congress. And they're asking her, like, well, what would you do to someone, like, accused of, like, sexual assault against a woman? What would you do? And she's like, well, we would put him in a training program. It's insane. I wish I could find it. It like to actually hear the woman saying it, you're like, holy shit. But it's surreal. This is what these people think. Then you have this guy. Man was arrested 39 times. Murdered his daughter.
How many of y'all have kids? I'm just curious. Here's what I need you to do. When I tell you this story, think about your kids. Think about your child coming home from a night out with their friends, laying down, going to sleep, feeling somebody come in the room and wake them and drag her out of bed, naked, forced on her knees, with her hands over her head, begging for her life, begging for her hero, her father, me, that couldn't be there. She was 5'3". She weighed 115 pounds. Bang! Dead. Gone. Why? Because Alexander Devontae Dickey, who was arrested 39 goddamn times, 25 felonies, was on the street. How about that? How good are we doing for our family? How good are you doing for your kids? He should have been in jail for over 140 years for all the crimes he committed. You know how much time he spent in prison? A little over 600 days in 10 years. He's only 30 years old. He was committing 2.65 crimes a year since he was 15 years old, but nobody could figure out that he couldn't be rehabilitated. Well, you'd have to put him in prison to see if he could be rehabilitated.
Now, horrific, absolutely fucking heart-wrenching. Let's be clear, though. 2.5 crimes per year, that's what he was caught for. What do you think he was really committing? If you estimate maybe, at best, 1 in 10 crimes are caught and prosecuted, 250 felonies? The man that stabbed Irina to death. Dozens upon dozens of arrests. What's the Democrat priority? Cashless bail. Let them out. Over and over and over and over and over again. You see, the problem's policing. That's the problem. Perhaps that man's daughter would still be alive if only we would have put an organization together to be a safe space for two-spirited people. That would have solved it. Then that guy wouldn't have been committing crimes, felonies over and over again in a 10-year period, right? That's the real problem. I'm sure he'll have crocodile tears from prison if they even keep him there this time. And they'll say, oh, the problem was I was called the N-word. That's the problem. Systemic racism. And if only we had a two-spirited safe space, that would have steered me in the right direction. I don't know what two-spirited means, but yes, the real problem is that I was arrested. That's the problem. If I'd have never been arrested and just allowed to run amok, yeah, then maybe I would have became as violent. Let's see if I can find this clip. I know where it's at. 1 second. It's on my Discord. Come on. Here's Alvin Bragg. The same DA that stretched out the statute of limitations to have a novel legal theory to charge Trump with 30-something odd felonies in an election season for what was tantamount to his campaign finance violation that we already know that his opponent in the 2016 election, Hillary Clinton, committed. Now let's see what happens when there's an actual serious crime.
A child. Yeah, well, I'm not the one who admitted they would be okay with killing babies in foster care and killing children that have been abused.
That's not the point. What I'm saying.
That's really.
What's wrong with you?
You have a. Oh my God.
No charges brought. None. Statute of limitations gone now. None. No charges. His office says, oh, whoopsie, we had a paperwork error. Our bad. You better damn believe if you're a Republican running for office, they'll get your ass. What? You're on his side. You're a pro-choice person. Punching a woman in the face. No charges. They want the violence. They want it. It benefits them. They want their little violent brown shirts out there attacking their opposition. That's what their agenda is. Jesse Kelly calls them communists. He says, there's only two things that the communists are interested in when it comes to law enforcement. Protecting their people and going after yours. That's it. It's that simple. Oh, just an error. Do you think for a second that it wouldn't have been a priority if that was a pro-choice person? A black woman that was pro-choice and some conservative punched him in the face because of police. You think for a second? That would be a hate crime. But, hey. Now, HN's here to tell us, just like when we talked about conservative white guys going to a HBCU, historical black college and university, and setting up a table and trying to have a civil discussion, HN told us they ought to have known that they risk violence. Don't you know that? You can't be white and go into an HBCU. You can't be conservative. Right, HN? Tell us. Hey, this woman knew what she was getting into. She should know better. You can't be conservative in public. You can't talk about being pro-life in public. Someone might punch you in the face, and the DA might say, well, we're just not going to charge it. Now, never mind if the opposite happened. HN would be the first person screaming, racism! These people commit these felonies over and over and over again, and they're let back out, and they're let out, and they're let out, and they're let out. And then when the worst happens, everyone shrugs their shoulder and go, what could we have done? If only we would have given money away from the police to two-spirited people. If only. That would have solved the issue. HN says, I said that for any college. Please stop telling your chat that I'm racist. You didn't say it. You first said for this college specifically. I'm the one that said, and by the way, it would be for other colleges as well. And second, you are racist. You've illustrated it many times over. Just like when we saw Rampage Jackson's son beat a white wrestler near to death, and your impulse was blame the white guy. Because you're racist. If you don't like it, there's the door. I don't give a fuck. That's because maybe the people in this community aren't racist. No one's forcing you to be here. Goodbye. Did I save this? Let's see. I don't think I did. Okay. I think Rampage's son did get charged. Also, HN, you have accused me of racism several times. Several times you have. You bullshitter. Several times you've accused me. One time I said, shit. You were like, that's racist. No, don't ban them. How many times are you going to say, no one called the wall racist? Okay, they did. If I dig up clips right now of you, me pointing out you calling me racist on stream, what are you going to say? Okay, I did, but I didn't believe it? Is that going to be your argument? You keep saying declarative statements. No one ever did that. I never did that. Here's more of the problem.
Get the fuck off of me. I'm not stopping with you. You just tried to kill me. Stop.
He did nothing wrong. I was here the entire time. I was here the entire time. He did nothing wrong.
Now, I'm not going to show you the whole bunch of this, but what he did, and those black women saw, he pulled a knife and threatened people. That's what he did. And yet, because he's black, the black women are like, he didn't do anything wrong. He's just a little boy. They're shouting at him. Or how about, you saw this story. Joanne Deborah Chesimard celebrated over the weekend. Celebrated as this great civil rights leader. Kaj Patel correctly points out, she didn't fight for justice. She murdered a New Jersey state trooper, Werner Forrester, in cold blood, and then fled to Cuba to escape accountability. She was a terrorist. Celebrated by the Democratic Party. Same Democratic Party that celebrate people that were in the Weather Underground. Bombing in acts of political terrorism. They got nice, some of them got nice cushy jobs, tenure positions. Bill Ayers was one of Obama's mentors. Not our country, but Melbourne, Australia. Look at this nice gentleman with his machete there. This guy in Melbourne was released with community service after attacking someone with machete at a shopping center. He then went on to stab 2 teenagers to death in a new attack. HN says, well, a couple people in the Weather Underground are in prison. Oh, okay, never mind. Was Bill Ayers in the Weather Underground? Did he go to prison? Do you see this fucking stupidity? Do you see? This is why we like keeping you around, HN. This is the same thing he said the other day. Same talking point. So let me get this straight. If there's a white supremacist violent gang that literally bombs public buildings, murders people, right? But a couple of them go to prison, and then a bunch of the other ones end up becoming mentors of Republican presidents, you would say, I don't see what the problem is. 2 of them went to prison. You fucking idiot. Oh, okay. My mistake. Black Lives Matter, you see them riot with near impunity. To HN, if one person ever got arrested, what do you want? That one person got arrested. Oh, never mind then. Not a problem. This guy in Melbourne. At what point do you just say the truth? They want guys like that in the street. It's not just a mistake. Oh, well, the guy attacked people in public with a machete. And you let him out. They fucking, and you're like, well, that's not the United States. The dude that shot ABC, that shot into that ABC building, they let out on bail. The feds had to pick him up. HN says, no, the issue is that just because you're in a bad group doesn't mean automatically committed all the bad crimes the group did. Totally true. For example, you may be in ISIS and you didn't commit all the beheadings that they did. Nonetheless, the fact that we'd say, oh, you were in this terror group, but now you're going to be a mentor of the President of the United States seems fucked up. I don't recall ever saying just because someone was in this group that they committed every crime. What's the argument for letting the guy out on bail that after the murder of Charlie Kirk, after we see attacks on ICE agents, the guy shoots into a building, could have killed people, and you let him out on bail? What's the argument for that? Oh, he seems like a stable individual. I don't think he would do anything rash like that again. These motherfuckers would have let Charlie Kirk's assassin out on bail if they could have. They would! They don't give a fuck. They want these people out there. They want you to fear for your life. They want you demoralized. They want you staying at home. They want you not out there professing your political ideology, your religious beliefs. They want you coward and fearful and home. They want your communities distraught so that you'll look to them and say, you're in charge. They want the police defunded. They want you unarmed. They want your First Amendment taken away so you can't speak or defend yourself and you have to rely on daddy government. I promise I'll get to super chats. But, you know, the Western world, they're busy. We got every blue-haired grandma at fucking January 6th. We got them all. Oh, boy, we'll get conservatives. Not just the United States, the Western world in general. Grooming gangs all through the UK. What are they focused on?
To a post questioning why, you wrote, because they're over here, given life of Riley, off the tax us hard-working people earn, when it could be put to better use. Come over here, with no work visa, no trade to their name, and sit down and doss, and then there's more people being put out homeless each year. They get top band priority on housing. You went on to say that you did not want your money going to immigrants who, quote, rape our kids and get priority, end quote. Although you said that you had no intention of carrying out any act of violence, there can be no doubt that you were inciting others to do so. Otherwise, why post the comment? You expressed remorse, but by that time, it was too late. For the offence of publishing written material in order to stir up racial hatred, there are sentencing guidelines which I must and will follow. The maximum sentence is 7 years imprisonment. In my judgment, this comes close to harm category 1. However, for the purposes of this sentence, I will treat you as falling into category 2, since there was no direct encouragement towards activity which threatens or endangers life. However, you fall towards the top of category 2. For a category 2A offence, the starting point is 2 years imprisonment with a range between 1 and 4 years custody. In mitigation, I take into account your plea of guilty, for which you will receive full credit of 1/3, following your earlier admissions. I take account of the contents of the references from your mother, friend, and employer.
How generous.
These can only be of limited value in the current circumstances, as can the contents of the pre-sentence report. I take account too of your expression of remorse, your lack of convictions which are racially aggravated, that you are in employment and you have a partner and family. In passing sentence, I take into account the purposes of sentencing, in particular in relation to this case, punishment and deterrence. As is recognised on your behalf, this offence is so serious that an immediate custodial sentence is unavoidable. Would you stand, please? The sentence that I pass has been reduced by 1/3 to reflect your guilty plea.
You got 2 years. 2 years is what he got. 2 years in prison for saying, I think these people are violent criminals and I don't want my money going to them. This was meant to stir up racial animus. Do you think there's a chance that if a Muslim said, we don't like the kafirs, the Crucible's rating over. Thank you. You think there's a fucking chance? You think there's a chance at all? That if a Muslim said something that was hateful to a white person in the UK, that they would be looking at 2 years in prison? Not a chance. Not a fucking chance. You think there's a chance that if a right-winger got pissed off at a TV station in a place like California, in a world where we see prevalent political assassinations and attacks on law enforcement, increasing violence, that if a right-winger took a firearm and shot bullets into a TV station that he was angry at, that he would be left out that night on bail? But that's what happened. Do you think that if a white person took a machete and was attacking a black person, that they'd be let out with probation in places like Melbourne, the United States, or the UK? No chance. Over and over we see career felons, 10 felonies, 20 felonies, 30 felonies, let out of prison to when they go on and do something heinous and it's shoulder shrugs. I'll play the clips here for the people coming in. Let's read Super Chats real quick. Thank you so much to the Crucible for the raid. I heard Andrew whoop some ass as always. Hello's $5 says Andrew made soy spills spurg out. Surprise, surprise. Land O'Lakes, $5 says we need Rob in Congress. No, Rob's more happy being a streamer and being a dad. I ran for Congress. Kyle Beckman, $10 says the Democrats use anarcho-tyranny, releasing criminals to terrorize the citizens. Then they target the citizens if they defend themselves and they don't follow unconstitutional gun control laws. Yep, absolutely correct. They want you defenseless. They want everyone that might ideologically align with you out of the military and out of the police. They want the police to be their own protections force, and they want the brown shirts out there to make you fearful for your life. That's what they do. Not Quite Dead, $10 says there was a case in New York less than a year ago when police found a mutilated body in a house and arrested a couple suspects living there. They're released on cashless bail. From Bumbley, $2. Dom and racist. Sucks to be HN. Our resident lefty HN. Halloos, $2. Says, hope Savannah Craven Antow gets justice. I don't know who that is. Probably the girl that we were just talking about that the father was testifying. Blasterbot, incredibly generous, $50. Says, celebratory wheel spin for the shutdown. Huzzah! May Trump use this to purge the government of unneeded bureaucrats or political activists living off the tax roll. Yes, we'll talk more about the shutdown here in a moment. Thank you so much, Blasterbot. Always appreciated. Jonathan Thorpe, $20. Happy government shutdown day. Yes, the shutdown. Get out your sombreros. We're shutting down, baby. Land O'Lakes, $5. Says government shutdown is good for the people. That says a lot. Yeah. John Kell, thank you for being a member. Rachel, how you doing? Like and subscribe. Thank you. Really appreciate it. And then look at this absolute fucking legend. Rouge. Who I used to call Rogue because I can't read because I'm an idiot. $200. Unfucking believable. Says sold my house. Here's a little piece. Thanks for the effort. I hope you keep growing. I'm trying to lose weight, so I'm trying to stop growing. Oh, you mean the channel. Thank you. Always appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's unbelievably, incredibly generous. Unbelievable. And then BB, $10 says, that hippie having a shite on the toilet behind you? It's the dude from the Big Lebowski. No, he just got his head dunked in the toilet. He's frustrated. He just fished his sunglasses out of the toilet. By some Chinaman. Don't worry, though. It's not the dude that built the railroads here. You know, they peed in his fucking rug. It's a big, long story. Maybe we'll go back to the race stuff. Tinky Tie Powers. Thank you so much over on Rumble. $5 says you're on fire tonight. Not one step back. Thank you so much. Shutdown. Let's talk about the shutdown here. So it appears that the shutdown occurred. Now, here's what's unique about this shutdown compared to previous ones. I still anticipate that the Republicans will fuck this up, much like the previous ones. But the truth is, people on our side should want a shutdown because one of the biggest threats to our country is an unelected bureaucracy. The government is way too fucking big. Way too big. And even if you take away my libertarian leanings, even if you put that to the side, which are becoming less libertarian every day, but even if you take that away and you say there are important functions for the government to have, okay, sure, I'm willing to listen to that. Do understand that 80% of government employees aren't doing a damn thing. Nothing beneficial whatsoever. We were talking earlier to my audience, we were talking about the HR people, right? That's who these people are. They're not creating something of value. They are taking our money for a salary. And not only are they not creating things of value, it'd be better if we were just paying them to sit in their ass at home. They're actively engaged in shit that is antithetical to what we want in life. We pay IRS employees like Lois Lerner to target conservative groups. Great. We pay USAID officials to then take more of our money to give it to left-wing causes and left-wing groups that they'll then funnel back into elections. Fucking super. Now, to Trump's credit, he tried to fire a bunch of people. It's very difficult to fire government employees. I personally like Vivek Ramaswamy's plan. His plan was to get around this. You could apparently, now I can't claim to be looked into the law too much on this, but there's always accusations of selective firing, and so that makes it difficult to fire people. So what he wanted to do was, he was just going to like flip a coin, and if it came up heads, he'd be like, okay, if your social security number starts with an even number, you're fired. Okay, that eliminates roughly 50% of government employees. Then he says, okay, if your social security number ends with an even number, you're fired. There. You just got rid of 75% of the government workforce. The only problem I have with that is it's not enough. It's a good start, though. It's absolutely a good start. Trump, to his credits, tried to fire a lot of people. He's provided incentive for them to resign. He's tried to fire a lot. And at every time he's been stymied, or at least attempted to be stymied, by activist courts that are trying to claim that he has no right to fire anyone. Shutdown solves that. Yeah, Robert Barnes, I'm a big fan. Now, my understanding is during a shutdown that the president has discretion on what things are deemed essential, what employees are deemed essential, and must be kept open. Traditionally, what happens is Democrats intentionally try to take away a bunch of shit that the average American likes so that they can say, oh my God, look what Republicans did. Now, we've already talked about this earlier tonight. Oh, everyone's saying congrats to me. On what? Reaching my goal tonight? Or just congratulations on the shutdown? Oh, I suppose I should do the goal thing real quick. Oh, am I missing a super chat? Is that what's going on? My man, How Long Nate, $10 says last run in the book. Start another job with a 75% increase per miles in 10 days. Fucking A, man. That's excellent news. Thank you so much, Nate. Always appreciate it. And that's great news, man. Well deserved. You're always working hard, man. And Vortone, $10 says when a company was doing poorly due to poor employee performance, the first place they cut is from the payroll to the Democrats. Why should it be any different for government workers? I could give you the real answer for the Democrats, because these are slush funds that go to Democrat donors, so they don't want it cut. These jobs are the constituents of Democrats that overwhelmingly get them. So now what we have at the shutdown is, the way Democrats traditionally do it is, they'll do things like close national parks. See how terrible it is? They'll be like, oh, we got to get rid of WIC benefits or SNAP benefits for people with children. Oh my gosh, see how terrible it is? Children will starve to death. So when you have a Democrat president, that's what they do. But they don't have to. They can keep those things funded. So what Trump could do is say, okay, here's the government workers that I wanted to get rid of anyways. They're laid off. And here's the problem for the Democrats. The American people might just realize, like, oh yeah, things worked fine. It's like when Elon got rid of like 85% of Twitter's workforce. And then remember that? Like everyone was like, within 1 or 2 weeks, Twitter's just going to collapse. It'll be done. How'd that work out? Turns out, didn't really need those. Now, you could say maybe you liked Twitter a little better before or not, but it's not because they laid these people off or fired them. So Democrats are in a real pinch, and this is why it's smart of Trump and company to be like, fuck you, we're not negotiating. Everybody knows that this is about illegals and able-bodied adults continuing to get Medicaid and health insurance. Fuck them. Illegals, go home. Able-bodied adults, get a job. But Democrats want $1 trillion for this shit. They're losing the perception argument for 2 reasons. One, because it's obvious they've already played their hand. That's what they're doing. And second, because less and less people trust the mainstream media. So the Republicans are actually, for once, led by Trump and his team, doing a great job of using the Democrats' own words for years about, oh my gosh, how bad government shutdowns are. Republicans have already passed a clean continuing resolution in the House, just waiting on the Senate. All but 1 Republicans voted on it in the Senate. So we're just waiting for like 8 Democrats to join. It's the Democrats' fault. American people, even the New York Times had a poll today said most people were blaming Democrats. This is bad for Democrats. Because if the shutdown doesn't do the disastrous things that Democrats always say the shutdown would do, the American people might say, so let me get this straight. We're saving billions, if not trillions of dollars, and nothing's really changed. Wow, maybe we should permanently let these people go. Not good. Not good for the Democrats. Couple super chats here. Johnny, $10, thanks, says, so I'm biased for reasons. The problem with the government workers is it's like a game of Jenga. You pull a lot of pieces, but pull the wrong one, and suddenly I can't catch PDFs anymore. Sure, but this is the argument that we always get. Well, we have to fund Harvard because they do cancer research. So who gives a shit that 90% of what they're doing at Harvard is churning out young people that hate our country and hate conservatives and hate Christians? Don't you care about cancer? Well, we have to fund the FBI. Who gives a fuck if they're corrupt and they're going after Donald Trump and Trump supporters and Catholics and parents at school board meetings? We have to, because what about those evil drug dealers? What about those evil people that are harming children? I suppose, and as soon as you make an exception, well, we can't get rid of this person. But how about that one? And 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 then at the end of the day, you're like, oh, so we've cut no one. How long, Nate? Thank you so much. $50, man. Thank you. Says, gotta support my man Rob. Like, subscribe, and donate. Even reads the $2 chance. That's true, I do. Thank Nate. I'm so happy for you, man. That's awesome. Really appreciate it. Yes, they do. Then why are Democrats so pissed off when Republicans suggest passing bills saying that they can't get these benefits? But it's interesting, HN. It's not that you're wrong about everything, always. Why are Democrats so pissed off? Like infuriated? The Republicans want to clear voter rolls? Could have something to do with this? And here's another thing that a person told me the other day. It's these CDLs, these companies getting CDLs. They don't do anything. Let's look at all the people that had IDs that were coming from places like New York and California. No name given. Now, I could be wrong. I'm not super familiar with license. But I believe, do you see that star at the top here? So the ones with the bear, you see the star? And then this New York one up top? Correct me if I'm wrong, but that star signifies that it's a real ID. Now, I just went and got my real ID. Sort of a pain in the ass. You have to bring a bill and a birth certificate. But not if you're an illegal. Not if you're a brown person. You just say, oh, I don't have a name. Fair enough. Stamp, go. Or I could bring up the story of the superintendent at that school in Iowa that was making $300,000 a year. And illegal. And wouldn't you know it? He was on the voter rolls. But wait a minute, how could that be? Surely not. Here's the state administrator of elections in Maryland. Finally, I request the Department of State whether voter registration list will be used in any investigative actions for potential violations of federal law, particularly whether the voter registration list will be used for enforcement of immigration laws against Maryland residents. The voter registration list may not be used in a manner that intimidates a voter from going to the polls, results in or has intent to result in denial or abridgment of the right of a Maryland citizen to vote, or causes a qualified voter to be stricken from the voter registration list. Wait a minute. Why would ICE having access to voter registration lists affect any illegal immigration whatsoever? After all, we all know illegals can't vote. It'd be impossible for them to be on the voter rolls. So why would the state administrator of elections in Maryland even bring this up? Unless, now this is going to blow your fucking mind, right? This is going to blow your mind. You ready? Now wait, hear me out here. This is going to get fucking real crazy here. Why would the state administrator of elections give a shit at all that federal agencies were getting access to voter registration lists when it comes to illegal immigration enforcement? Can we think of a reason? I know. I think I got it. You ready? Okay. Because everybody knows that illegals are on these voter rolls. That's why. We all know it. I know it. You know it. The Democrats know it. The Republicans know it. All the state officials know it. We all fucking know it. We all know it. We've been told. No, it doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. We've been told that. Just like HN saying, no, it's ridiculous. Illegals wouldn't get any Medicaid benefits. Doesn't happen. But it turns out it does. It doesn't matter how many times these people bullshit you and say, no, it doesn't happen. No name given. That's real ID. That's a CDL, a commercial driver's license. Do you understand? Now, our friend How Long Nate here is a truck driver who's getting a better job. Thank you. That's amazing. Glad to hear it. I have other people that are truck drivers. Let's get to the super chats real quick. Johnny, $20 says, sure, I get that. My contention is not that the job doesn't need to be done. Just that if it's done right, I don't think it'll be not done as quickly as we hope. Surgery requires time and care, but beats the alternative. Yeah, it's not time for surgery, though. We don't have time for a scalpel when you can see anytime Trump tries to do anything, he's met with lawfare constantly. They're trying to run out the clock. So better to use a sledgehammer and then go back in with tweezers and put in what you need. But thank you so much, Johnny, for the $20. Really appreciate it. How Long Nate, $10 says, that state-issued CDL to name not given literally steals food from my table, HN. But they have a net benefit to society, right? Of course. Fuck you, HN. Or fuck you, Nate. That's how they feel. They don't give a fuck. Now listen, I happen to know a lot of truck drivers because my father-in-law is a truck driver. He drives oversized loads. My wife used to drive the car with lights on in front of the oversized loads, the escort car. She used to drive that for her father. I know a lot of truck drivers. You would not believe the burdensome, like here's some things you might not know about a CDL. Did you know if you test, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone with a CDL? That's funny, infamous Luigi. If you blow like a 0.2, it's some ridiculously low threshold of alcohol content that's not traditionally considered intoxicated. But they'll revoke your CDLs. You have to, if you have a CDL, you have to get a physical, depending on your age, every 2 years. If you have a little bit of high blood pressure, you have to get it every 6 months or every hour. Or I'm sorry, hour. Every year. Every hour would be a bit much. You have to keep log books. A lot of them have e-logs now, which are automatic in your truck. Most trucks do. They could govern, they'll literally shut off your truck if you go past the hour limit that you're allowed to drive. Oversized loads, it's so burdensome, you literally have to get a permit for each and every road that you'll drive on. Let's say that you're hauling an oversized load out of Pennsylvania, and you get on the interstate, and then you get off a road, and you have to take this house or whatever you're hauling that's oversized through a residential neighborhood. But unfortunately, unbeknownst to you or the people that made that permit, something came up on one of the residential roads that you need. For example, a fire hydrant burst, a tree fell. They're working on the road and didn't communicate it properly. You're fucked. You can't just take a different road. That's off permit. That's against the law. That's how serious it is. So you have to pull over. Then you have to call. You have to get a new permit with the new route written. That's how serious the government is with regulations when it comes to an actual American citizen. You have to pass a written exam. You have to pass a driving exam. But as we just heard the other day from Trump's Department of Transportation, a random look at non-citizens that got CDLs in California revealed that 25% of them, 25% based on a random look, illegally obtained their CDLs. I know, Are We Not Men? Thank you. I've played that clip before. I hesitate because it does show a death. It is on YouTube. But yeah, we've seen the illegal in Florida that tried to do a U-turn and resulted in the deaths of 3 people. Anything over a 0.01 for a truck driver, someone with a CDL. Let me see if I can find that clip. From the DOT. Secretary Sean Duffy. This is from last week.
So the combination of a catastrophic failure of states to follow the law and a broken system has created an imminent hazard to American travelers. That is why today I'm announcing 2 immediate major actions. Number 1, we're issuing an emergency rule that fundamentally overhauls who is eligible for a non-domiciled CDL. These tighter federal standards, they're going to keep Americans and families safe on our roadways. Now, this is not a proposal. This is a final rule. And it is effective immediately. Jesse's going to go through those details in just a little bit, but here's the bottom line. Non-citizens will not be eligible for a CDL unless they meet a much stricter set of rules. Second, all states must immediately pause the issuance of non-domiciled CDLs until they can comply with our new rules. My message, it's very simple. Get into compliance now, or we'll pull funding and we'll force you into compliance. Nowhere in the country have we found a more egregious licensing situation than in the state of California. That's why the second action we're announcing today is an additional enforcement action against California. So for 2 weeks, FMCSA investigators were on site in California actually looking at their records. So we took a random sample. Investigators found that more than 1 in 4 non-domiciled CDLs were issued in direct violation of federal safety standards. So let's just put that another way. Over 25% of these licenses, they were issued illegally.
25% of non-citizens that got CDLs in California were issued them illegally. 25%. This is anarcho-tyranny. This is the right-winger does something, throw the fucking book at them. The left-winger does something, 30-something felonies, let him out. This is Alvin Bragg. Creating a novel legal theory to go after Donald Trump for a campaign finance violation in 2016, beyond the statute of limitations, so that he could claim during the election that he charged him with, 37 felonies? The same crime that we know Hillary Clinton committed in the same election, a campaign finance violation. And yet, Alvin Bragg decided not to prosecute this crime.
A child. Yeah, well, I'm not the one who admitted they would be okay with killing babies in foster care and killing children that have been abused.
That's not the point. What I'm saying.
That's really.
What's wrong with you?
You have a...
Oh my God.
That's anarcho-tyranny. That's a pro-life person being assaulted on the street, and Alvin Bragg says, can't do anything about that. Can't do anything. Go after Trump for a bullshit crime. That's what happens in our legal system all over the place. You're a citizen of this country, you want a CDL? Well, that's going to be a problem. That's a very burdensome thing that you want there. You're going to have to do a lot of testing, take a lot of schooling. You're going to have to go through physicals. You're going to have to make sure all your paperwork. You're going to have a truck where probably is going to have an e-log that meticulously takes care of everything. Oh, you're not born in the United States? Fuck it. No name given on your license? Fuck it. Here's your CDL. Good luck. You can't speak the language? Who gives a fuck? Get out there. You want to riot for Black Lives Matter? Slap on the wrist. Oh, you were at January 6th? We're going to fucking ruin your life. All over the place in this country, in the Western world. You have a grooming gang in the UK? Not the best thing, but what can we do? You want to bitch about the grooming gangs with memes on Facebook or on Twitter? Oh, boy. We'll throw your ass in the gulag for that. One of my favorite quotes. Alexander Solzhenitsyn from the Gulag Archipelago says, your punishment for having a knife when they search you would be very different from the thief's. For him to have a knife was mere misbehavior, tradition. He didn't know any better. But for you to have one was terrorism. That's him explaining the Soviet Union. How is it different here? Antifa's just an idea. Now, for years in Portland, and this is going back years, like 2014, right? When groups like Patriot Prayer would try to get a permit and have a rally and pray, Antifa would show up and beat the fuck out of them with weapons. It's just an idea, though. Nothing could be done about that. But then when a group like the Proud Boys saw it and said, no, fuck that, we're going to fight back, they're a terrorist organization. You see? You see how that works? Antifa, that was just an idea, beating the shit out of those conservatives. But as soon as you fight back, you're a terrorist. You see how that works? Law enforcement ain't going to do shit. Antifa's allowed to run amok. I want you to, just for a second, imagine a violent right-wing group in any state in this country, in any city in this country, taking over 6 city blocks for multiple weeks. And not only did the local government do nothing through sending in law enforcement, but they didn't request the national government, and the national government didn't insist upon going in. But beyond that, the local government was like, we're going to send them resources. I want you to imagine that for a second. Just imagine it. But that's what we have. When it comes to the left, we just accept it. Well. What can you do? By the way, the Chaz zone that I'm talking about, lest we forget that they murdered a 14-year-old African-American boy. Oh, well. It's the price of doing business when you're a lefty. Part of the U.S. government, part of the United States of America, was taken over by a group of lefties that called themselves an autonomous zone. Autonomous from what? The government. Yeah, I've debated soy pill. Remember, there was a rapper named Raz Simone that was in charge of the Chaz zone. He's running it. We just accept it. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that happened. I know my audience already saw this, but what's it lead to? Leads to that woman that was murdered on the bus arena by someone who'd been arrested over 30 times. It leads to this.
How many of y'all have kids? I'm just curious. Here's what I need you to do. When I tell you this story, think about your kids. Think about your child coming home from a night out with their friends, laying down, going to sleep, feeling somebody come in the room and wake them and drag her out of bed, naked, forced on her knees, with her hands over her head, begging for her life, begging for her hero, her father, me, that couldn't be there. She was 5'3". She weighed 115 pounds. Bang! dead, gone. Why? Because Alexander Devontae Dickey, who was arrested 39 goddamn times, 25 felonies, was on the street. How about that? How good are we doing for our family? How good are you doing for your kids? He should have been in jail for over 140 years for all the crimes he committed. You know how much time he spent in prison? A little over 600 days in 10 years. He's only 30 years old. He was committing 2.65 crimes a year since he was 15 years old, but nobody could figure out that he couldn't be rehabilitated. Well, you'd have to put him in prison to see if he could be rehabilitated.
This is the Democrat policy. It's fucking horrific. It's horrific. Now imagine everyone involved in this, the prosecutors, the judges. What are you thinking after felony 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25? You mean to tell me each and every time they were like, well, you know, let's give him a chance. 13 felonies wasn't enough. We haven't seen enough. Let's do 14. Okay, wasn't enough. Let's do 15. Wasn't enough. Let's send him back out. 16. Send him back out. 17. You know what? Let's give him a chance. Send him out. 18. Let's send him out again. 19 felonies. Fuck it. Let's give him another chance. 20. We'll give him a chance. Send him back out. 21. You know what? This time I think it'll work. Send him back out. 22. Maybe it'll work out this time. 23. You know, it just feels racist to intern him. Let's send him out again. 24. I'm sure it'll work out this time. 25. Yep, send him back on the street. Oh, he brutally murdered someone? That's a shame. Who could have seen it coming? Who could have seen it? This is the Democrat policy. The reason they were freaking out that Trump was deploying the National Guard to D.C. wasn't that they were worried that Trump would fail. It was that they were worried he would succeed. That all of a sudden you would see, you know what? These Democrat-ran cities, a lot of them with prosecutors and judges that were financed by George Soros, it's a choice to have these violent criminals on the street. It's a choice. It could be solved. That's why they were so pissed off. Meanwhile, forgive me, my audience that already saw this, what are Democrats' policies? How are they going to stop this? Are they going to start more aggressively policing? Well, there was a hearing this week on it. Josh Hawley spoke on it. Here's the Democrat witness that they called, the Democrats called, about, you see, the problem is that we rely on policing. There's too much policing. That's the real issue. That's the real issue here. Too much policing. And instead, we should be diverting those funds elsewhere. I'll leave the Democrat witness here, whose organization wrote the policy paper that he was in charge of. I'll let him explain it.
Comprehensive approach is defunding the police, which is what this says. The entire time. This is so typical of what the Democrats do now. After your policies have transparently failed and led to the deaths of millions of Americans, now you say you've never heard of defunding the police. Your own report recommends it on page after page after page. Let me ask about something else you say. Here's what you say we ought to invest in. Instead of funding the police, here's what we ought to invest in. We need to invest in programs that acknowledge the need for safe space initiatives led by lesbian, gay, bisexual, two-spirit, trans, and gender nonconforming people. What's two-spirit?
Well, look, I don't know exactly. You guys are pulling some interesting quotes.
This is from your report.
If you look at the report, the focus is on investing in violence intervention, outreach workers.
Why does you say that you shouldn't invest in the police?
Here's what it says, that we need to Invest. Policymakers can start stabilizing the employment of violence interrupters. So we need to hire violence interrupters, outreach workers, and credible messengers on the front lines. So don't send money to the police. Instead, what we need is violence interrupters. Policymakers must pass local policies to fund and work with frontline activists and technical assistance providers to conduct a culturally competent community-wide risk assessment, just as you would for any disease. You see, that's what it is. Gun violence and like all of this violence, it's just a disease. It's not human beings that are acting violent. It's a disease. Identifying the most salient risk factors and environmental root causes of gun violence among the communities and individuals most harmed, identify or acknowledge the need for a safe space. Among communities or individuals most harmed. And then we have to identify or acknowledge the need for safe space initiatives led by lesbian, gay, bisexual, two-spirit, trans, and gender non-conforming people who are left out of the many violence prevention efforts, but at the highest risk of being harmed. You see, we're sending too much money to the police. When you see the guy that committed 25 felonies and then was left out in order to murder a young girl, you thought, hey, you know what? The police should have arrested him. But no, the answer is not that. Instead, we should have sent a trans, two-spirited violence interrupter to talk to this gentleman. That would have solved the problem. Now, of course, this guy laughs and goes, you're pulling some weird shit. This is his paper. This is This is who the Democrats called to testify about gun violence.
But we ought to invest in two-spirit community programs that acknowledge two-spirit.
We are not going to discriminate against that. We're not going to discriminate against any nonprofit that
what
wants
is
to
a
help us
two-spirit?
prevent violence in
What
our
is
community.
two-spirit? You say don't fund the police, but do fund programs that create safe spaces for two-spirit people. What is? I just want to know. I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is.
Well, I honestly, I'm not completely aware of the language or
You
the
wrote
spirit
the
of how that was
report?
written. But what I'm telling you is that what is
a two-spirit individual? I mean, really, this is your policymaker's playbook. You are the witness called by the Democrats on this committee, so I assume you reflect their views.
Well,
you don't want to fund the police. You want to fund safe spaces for two-spirit individuals. What is a two-spirit person?
I feel like I'm looking at a two-faced individual because you talk about reducing
Oh, no, sir.
violence.
You're looking at somebody who's
You're also
reading you
speaking
your
out
own
against
words, and I'd like to hear an
violence
answer.
programs.
Here's the answer. The answer is you don't have any solutions. You want to invest in gobbledygook and take away money from police officers who actually keep our communities safe, and when you're called on the record, you deny it.
That's the Democrats. Arena gets murdered. You know what we should do? The problem is that we funded the police too much. Instead, let's fund some safe spaces led by two-spirited trans people. And don't forget the lesbians. That's the real issue. Cashless bail. That's the real issue. Let more people out. Whatever you do, though, don't let Trump send law enforcement in to clean shit up. That's the wrong way to go about it. When can we admit that they want this violence? It's not an accident. They're not fucking up over and over again. It's intentional. It's the intentional destabilization of this country. It's for the demoralization and the defeat of this country. That's what they're doing. It's anarcho-tyranny. They enforce the law against the law-abiding and allow the lawless to have immunity. That's what's going on. Same as it ever was. Same as it was with the Bolsheviks in the Soviet Union. Read the Gulag Archipelago. It's surreal. One of the things Solzhenitsyn talks about is all of these people that are getting put in for bullshit reasons. There were people that were given 10 years in a gulag for something as simple as the picture of Stalin they had in the kitchen was askewed. And a neighbor reported them. That's clearly subversion. Clearly that's them saying they don't like Stalin. 10 years. Now, when you got sent in for something like that, you might be like, well, yeah, okay, that's fucking horrible. But at least when you're in the gulag, the guards, etc., will be like, you're a decent person. You're not like these murderers, these thieves, these sexual assaulters. But no, it was the exact opposite. Solzhenitsyn talks about it over and over. The thieves, the murderers, the actual criminals were treated by the guards like royalty. They were given special privileges. It was you, the anti-Soviet agitator. You got treated like shit. You were the one who was treated the worst. It reminds me of the line from, I can't remember if it's in the book, which I have read, one of my favorite books and movies, The Count of Monte Cristo, right? But I remember from the Jim Caviezel movie, right, when he gets sent to the prison, Chateau d'If, and he's tied up and they're about to whip him. And he says, but I'm innocent. And the jailer goes, I know. They don't send the guilty here. They send the people they're ashamed of. Right. You get treated the worst because you're not guilty. Then they want to push you to the brink so they can make an example out of you. Like Daniel Penny. He had enough of it. He saw these violent fucking people on the subway, said, enough. Threatening people. Throw that guy's ass in prison. Kyle Rittenhouse saw enough. Throw that guy's ass in prison. The McClowskys, remember them in St. Louis? I saw that the gentleman just got his guns back, finally. Remember that story, the McClowskys? There was a picture of this older gentleman and his wife brandishing firearms as violent Black Lives Matter marauders broke into their gated property. They didn't fire their weapons. They just stood there protecting. Now, first they called the police, or first they called their private security, which didn't respond. Then they called the police, which didn't respond. So they decided to brandish their weapons to hopefully intimidate people to get off their property. They got arrested. Not the violent rioters, them. Part of their arrest was losing the right to the very firearms that was necessary for them to protect their property. No, they didn't point their guns at protesters. They pointed their guns at violent trespassers. That's who they pointed their guns at. You call them because you're a fucking scumbag piece of shit racist, HN. That's who you are. Oh my God, they're black. And so when they're breaking into your property and looting and committing violence, they're just protesters. You fucking loser, you piece of shit, fucking worm of the earth, scumbag, racist sack of shit, that every night you're on here and I have to constantly embarrass you, you fucking worthless scum. No, not protesters. I hope that cleared it up for you, you fucking sack of shit. Hey, thanks for your contributions to the show, HN. That guy told us earlier, no one ever said that the wall was racist. Then I looked it up, immediately found like 10 examples. He goes, okay, I was wrong. But no one still says it. Now, just in case you're wondering, HN says the reason he used the word protester was because I did. Y'all saw that, right? That's what he said. All right, here we go. Let's look and see what I said. I don't remember. I don't think I used the word protester. I think I said trespassers or marauders. Here we go. Just got his guns back, finally. Remember that story, the McClownskis? There was a picture of this older gentleman and his wife brandishing firearms as violent Black Lives Matter marauders broke into their gated property. They didn't fire their weapons. They just stood there protecting. Now, first they called the police, or first they called their private security, which didn't respond. Then they called the police, which didn't respond. So they decided to brandish their weapons to hopefully intimidate people to get off their property. They got arrested. Not the violent rioters, them. Part of their arrest was losing the right to the very firearms that was necessary for them to protect their property. No, they didn't point their guns at protesters. They pointed their guns at violent trespassers. All they do is, that's exactly right. Took the words right out of my mouth. All they do is lie over and over and over again. That's it. Constant gaslighting and lying. They cannot tell the truth. Oh, I only called them a protester because you did, Rob. No, I didn't. Absolute gaslighting bullshit. Same as it ever was with these people. Anyways, I hope you're all enjoying your lockdown or your shutdown. Feels good. Government shutdown feels good. All right. I have to go to the restroom, so I'm going to give everyone their favorite part of the show, the Hassan Cam. Now, if you don't know, really big, super awesome Twitch left-wing streamer Hassan, Twitch's golden boy. You know, he could bring on Houthi terrorists and call for the death of U.S. senators, etc. One of the things he likes to do is he'll just play some copyrighted content as he just lets his chair sit there empty. Now, I'm not going to play the copyrighted content, but what I do is I go to the restroom, I fill up my water jug, and I bring on the Hassan Cam. There it is. Wow. Everybody's favorite. And so, chair, go ahead. Keep them entertained for a couple minutes while I go to the restroom. I'll be right back. Get those donos in for the Hassan Cam in the chair here. Be right back. How'd you do, chair? Did you do good? All right, chair. All right, let's read some super chats. Yeah, the chair's killing it. Yeah, the chair knows. No, just a pee. Old man bladder. Just a pee, I assure you. Chair did great. Awesome. Hellbat12, $5 says, just got here from listening to Hegseth's speech. Andrew demolish the lefties, and what did I miss? Well, we're talking about the shutdown and sort of crime policies, as you could probably intuit by now. I heard Andrew did very well in his debate. He usually does. Two Wills, member for 6 months, says, I flew to Hawaii with a real ID and no passport. I don't have a passport myself, but I do have a real ID. Sort of a pain in the ass to get. Roy the Boy, $5. Thanks so much, says, I think it's time to watch Smokey and the Bandit again. Love me some Smokey and the Bandit. Our friend How Long Nate, $10, says, I-80 eastbound Nevada state line had a port of entry open at California line every day since that announcement. California has not complied. Who would have thought? Halloos, $5. Says that beautiful light-skinned pro-life girl was Savannah Craven Antal. Justice for her. The one that Alvin Bragg let get punched in the face. Yeah, terrible. Only a Mr. Bill, $5, thanks, says. Great stream, Rob. Minutes ago, 2 journalists attacked at ICE Portland. Police do little to nothing. Sent to your Twitter if you want to play it. I will check. Jess White, nice to hear from you. 5 memberships. Thank you so much. How Long Nate, $10, says, need 500 of you ninja viewers to hit like. These are bullshit Democrat numbers. Oh, man. I don't even have to say it. My audience says, thank you, Nate. Jess White donates $5. Thank you, Jess. Nathan Slippy, $5, says, there's one person that should be glad that I'm not that girl's father. Harry Ludwig gives 10 memberships. What a Chad. Thank you. Appreciate the gift, man. Dustin S., $5, says, ever look at the Spanish Civil War? The political landscape is very similar to the U.S. right now. Zoomer historian video on it is great. God bless you, Rob. Thank you, Dustin S. You know, I got to be honest. I'm a poor student of history, but it's something I should check out. So thank you for that. Blasterbot, $5, says, Chair! Celebration of the government shutdown. Great insight, Chair. I knew Chair wouldn't let me down. Jonathan Thorpe, $5, says, excellent point, Chair. Never really thought of it that way. This damn chair is quite insightful when I'm not around. It's like Joe Biden, right? You remember how that was the narrative we got about Joe Biden? Everyone was telling us, like, Joe Biden, when he's in front of the cameras, looks like an aging human vegetable. But trust us, they said, behind closed doors, this man's sharp as a tack. We can't keep up with him. Talk about an unfortunate turn of events. Every time a camera's on you, you look like an Alzheimer's patient. But you're actually the most quick-witted person in the world behind the scenes. That's how Chair is. When I'm here, Chair's silent. But apparently, as soon as I get up and leave the room, Chair's making some of the greatest political points known to man. Amazing. Hellpat, $2, says, wow, Mr. Chair, such an interesting point. Harry gives another 10 memberships. Thank you so much. V. Scott, thanks so much. Says, look up what happened to Sequoia Turner in 2020. Is this Cop's Bad story? Is it? Eight-year-old girl fatally shot in Atlanta on July 4th. Armed vigilantes had erected illegal barricades, and city leaders in action allowed the lawless violence of vigilantism to lead to her death. So it wasn't the police, it was vigilantes. She was riding in a vehicle with her mother and a friend when it encountered an armed group near Wendy's restaurant after a U-turn. Gunfire from the group struck the car, fatally injuring her. Atlanta police issued a warrant for Julian Conley, a 19-year-old who turned himself in and was charged with felony murder and aggravated assault. Those attorneys stated he was peacefully protested, witnessed the shooting, but did not fire the weapon. And this was July 4th, 2020. Summer of love, baby. Conley's attorneys claims he saw between 3 and 4 people open fire in the car. Police have stated the shooters were 2 men. Families pleaded for witnesses to come forward. As of October 1st, 2025, the legal case against the city and Wendy remains unsolved. No update. Horrible. Unbelievable. Hellbat, $5, says, thanks so much. If the shutdown is happening now, that means Trump's allowed to fire people in a certain area. Wink, wink. Oh, yes. Hopefully thousands of them, though he'll bungle it up. And Harry gives another 10. Man, what a boss. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. Now, I do owe a whip song. One whip wheel. So apologies to my audience for this, but I'll play one. $50 gets you a spin of the wheel and then we'll play whatever version of this stupid whip song comes up. The lyrics are all the same, but here you go. We'll do one real quick, and then we'll get back to the stream. Oh, don't be something long. Something quick. Come on. Mongolian throat music. All right. We'll do that real quick. Enjoy. We did it. Thank you guys so much. How long, Nate? $10 says, okay. Cut it. Put me to sleep as I get back to the... that was Mongolian throat music, apparently. All right. So our friend, Mr. Bill, only Mr. Bill sends us this. So let's check this out. This is Portland Tonight. Another ICE facility riot / insurrection. This is a journalist. And it claims she's I haven't watched this. It claims she's going to get attacked by Antifa. Here we go.
Don't hit. Oh, fuck. She just hit me in the face. Oh my God. She just hit me in the face.
Give it the fuck back! Or I will make you! Fuck you! Put it the fuck down! Put it down, you piece of shit! Put it down! Charlie, you assaulted the last fucking man. She just assaulted me in the face. He has hit me. It's time to go. Obviously, this one. We need to get her identity. We need to unmask her. Yeah, her. Call the police. Call the police. Call 911.
Okay, that's footage 1. Number 2.
Anything happens.
She's following her now. There's the cop.
Do not touch me! Yes, Jan Sport backpack.
Do not touch me.
That one.
Do not touch me.
Her.
Do not touch me. No, I'm not. I am not.
I just said that you are.
I'm underage. No, do not touch her. Do not touch her. Do not touch me. I am underage.
Gotta keep our eyes on them. Any police still over there? Hey, can you see if the police are still over there?
So just so you can see what's going on, this is an Antifa encampment. Now, these people with the green hats wear these green hats because they're supposedly journalists. That's why they're wearing the green hat. Now, you can see what's happening here. So what we've seen so far from the footage is this woman with the camera was violently assaulted, right? The police were like, hey, we're going to detain you. The girl said, fuck you, no, you're not. Police said, okay, my bad. Let her walk away. So the person assaulted continues to film her. She goes into the Antifa encampment. They instantly put the lights on the camera and the umbrellas. This is to shield from recording so that the person could get away with it. Or legal aid. That's what it is, green hats, not journalists, yeah. Now they're going to help make this person disappear so that they don't have to face the consequence from their actions. We'll continue. Police just let it go. No problem. Fast forward a little. That's the person still there. Okay. Now next.
Why don't you grow?
Now you have other people using the umbrellas to shield this girl. They clearly said, hey, we need to get her into a safe space so that she's not arrested. So here we go. Now they're helping her. There's more law enforcement. You can see just went by another law enforcement officer, it looks like. Right there. You see on the left, there's a cop. Now, gonna let this girl that just assaulted someone, right?
Going into the Antifa safe house. Yup.
Why the fuck you stalking women? Fucking minors and shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you stalking this person?
She assaulted me.
She assaulted you? Do you have proof of that?
Yeah, my black eye.
Your black eye? You didn't just.
You don't
like,
have a black eye.
I don't see it. Get hit by your boyfriend or something?
All right, the assault suspect is in the safe house.
Assault suspect? Do you move out now? Are you able to designate someone as a suspect?
The assault suspect is in the safe house. Get away from me.
Get away. Why don't you grow some balls and stop being a fucking snowflake?
Yeah, you're fucking assaulting, you dumb whore!
See? She's the snowflake because she got hit. Grow some balls. She is growing balls. She's doing what the police won't. She filmed them despite the fact you have all of these violent thugs that are out to get her.
Back up, you decrepit Barbie.
You're David. Yes, nice to meet you. I just got assaulted really bad.
I just thought about the video of them chasing you.
And that's the Antifa safe house.
What? Katie, you're stalking children. That's weird.
That's pedophilia, dude.
It's not cool to stalk children, Katie.
So they are now harboring the assault suspect in the safe house. In the Antifa safe house.
The Antifa safe house. Get my good side, Katie.
That's what they did to her. Now, the police don't give a fuck. They don't care. The police in Portland are instructed, let it go. You saw it. The police, oh yeah, we're going to stop you. They did nothing. See how they attack her? Oh, you're stalking a child. You're a coward. Now imagine that. Now, if you get assaulted, not only should there be criminal penalties, but you could possibly sue for civil penalties. And yet, this woman's just told tough shit. No, police aren't going to do shit. They get away with it, with impunity. That woman will never have justice. She'll never get justice. Now, when the police, eventually, if the federal law enforcement go in and do something, these people will scream, we're victims, oh my God, no, it's tyranny. That's what we deal with. Now, I want you to imagine a city overran by right-wingers like that. Can you imagine the police just like, we're going to let them beat left-wing journalists. Imagine that instead of an independent journalist, that was someone from CNN being beaten by a right-wing terrorist. And the local cops just going, how do you think that looks? What do you think the Biden administration would have did? But what do we have? Democrats saying, how dare Trump? Portland's peaceful. How dare Trump claim that he's going to send in National Guard? Jake Carroll says, just tuned in. 100% based on how you look. Going to say you're MAGA. Sure. Now, with the name Jacal, I'm going to assume 100% chance that you have a boyfriend. Jacal. What's his name? Your boyfriend's name? Just curious. I'm sure he's a nice gentleman, right? Why don't you go hang out with him? Some more super chats. Dustin S., thanks so much, says, I DM'd you on Twitter the video about the Spanish Civil War. It's taken me a few weeks to get through it, so no rush. Thank you, Dustin. I really appreciate it, man. I'll check it out. Only Mr. Pill $2 says, Proud Boy types get charged for looking at you wrong. Of course. And Mc12 Demon Killer, $5, says, can't say Antifa isn't an organization when they have a safe house, green hats, agitator groups, and separate physical enforcer group. Lock them up. No, that was just an idea. Just an idea. You're a woman, try again. Why don't you call in, Jacal? You can prove it. Clearly struck a nerve. You showed myself out. No. You sound like these Antifa buffoons. No, I'm making fun of you because you're a sack of shit. You didn't strike a nerve. You're fun cannon fodder for me. You're like every other piece of shit lefty that comes in and thinks that you're funny, but you're not. And you can't handle any more pushback, right? And so then you're like, oh, clearly I struck a nerve because you insulted me far better than I could to you. So I must have struck a nerve. I'll let myself out. You're letting yourself out because you're a coward. That's why you're letting yourself out. But see you later, ma'am. Hey, Ludwig, thanks for the $5. Incredibly generous tonight. Thanks so much. Oh, I got an email. All right. Now, we're going to wind down the show here tonight. Apologies for that. But I do have some stuff to do tomorrow. I got about 7 to 8 hours of driving ahead of me. So I'm going to leave about 9 a.m. So I'm not getting up too early. Get up at 8, get a shower, talk to my wife, my son, and then hit the road. So I'll be gone for 2 to 3 days. Doing some things I can't talk about. Maybe I'm going to Antifa. No, I'm not. I am doing some stuff with the Crucible, though. So I'll gladly grift a couple minutes. I could keep that up. We could keep the grifting up, but I will be heading to bed soon. So my schedule will be no streaming unless something crazy happens. I won't be streaming. I am going to take my laptop, but I doubt I'll be streaming because I'm going to be busy doing shit for the Crucible. So my guess is I will not be streaming at all tomorrow or Thursday. Friday, depending on if I get back, I might have to stay where I'm going Friday night as well. If not, I'll try to stream Friday evening, and then Saturday I'm out. Next Monday, I have a debate coming up. It's going to be a weird one, but it's on Sarah Tomato's panel. It's going to be me and Marte debating two people on who's worse, George Floyd or Destiny. It's kind of a crazy topic. It's not my choice, but and then I will be debating on the 28th, a similar topic to Andrew did tonight, more violent from the left or the right wing. So I'll have that coming up on October 28th. And then I have a bunch of other guests and other things like that lined up. But hopefully I'll be doing some debates soon. Have I figured out a remote in real life stream set up for short vids yet? No, not really. Yeah, old Joe says, what the fuck? Who's worse? They don't fit in the same category. Right. That's my thoughts. I like Marte. Marte's wanted to have me be a partner for his in a debate for a long time now. He asked if I'd be willing to do this. I said, sure, why not? So I don't particularly like doing topics like this when one of the people is alive and they're not there to defend themselves. Yeah. I think I'm on the side of Destiny's worse. I'll have to double check. BB, thanks so much. Says, in the spirit of comedy, ask America with Edar. Always loved the Muppets. Okay. Thank you, BB. So we're going to raid Speakeasy here tonight. I would stay up with you guys later. I mean, if anyone wants to throw huge sums of money at me real quick here, I'll take it. But we're going to raid Speakeasy. I am trying to get to bed with Edgar. Ask America with Edgar. Gotcha. Nice. But I am going to try to get some sleep here tonight. And I'll be driving safe tomorrow. I got a Honda Civic is my rental car. Woohoo! I preferred the Hyundai Elantra that I got the last time I got a rental car. Or no, it was a Hyundai Sonata. I'm sorry. So, thank you all so much, though. Thank you to everyone that donated tonight, everyone that liked, everyone that subscribed, everyone that participated in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to my mods. You guys are all the best. Thank you to my editor, Black Elk, and to my tech guy, Spiro. I appreciate both of you. Check out my YouTube channel for regular and short form vids that my editor is putting up there at least 5 days a week. So there's a lot of shorter content up there that you may like. Thank you to Andrew Wilson and those folks at The Crucible for raiding over. Really appreciate it. If you haven't already, consider subbing. Usually stream every weeknight at 10 p.m., every weekday at noon. We do a call-in show at noon. We do the regular show at 10 p.m. Eastern. So check it out. We're usually having fun. And that's it. I'm going to miss you guys. It's going to be 2 or 3 days without me, so I'll miss you. Only Mr. Bill 2 Bucks says, can you link Katie's Twitter, please? Sure. This is the woman who was assaulted's Twitter account. So, all right. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all of you. Sorry I won't be around for the next couple days, but there's some shit going on in the background I think you're all going to be a big fan of. So if everything works out as planned. So it'll be good for my channel, good for the Crucible, and good for our communities. I think so. So be able to talk about it at a later date. So thank you so much. Everybody have a good one. And as always, God bless Charlie Kirk and his family.
Only in America is it possible to say, you know what, I don't like the way the country is going, and to do something about it. Take that risk. Take that leap of faith. Stay involved. Trust God and act obediently. Romans 12:2 verse. That God will use all things for good for those who love him. It's bigger than you. I want you to remember that. It is bigger than you. It's bigger than me. You are here to make somebody else's life better, the pursuit of liberty and freedom. You know what gives me strength? The hundreds of thousands of you that say, Charlie, keep going.
1 Corinthians 5 and 15. So that's all pretty amazing evidence, not just intra-biblical evidence, but extra-biblical evidence that Jesus Christ was a real person. He lived a perfect life. He was crucified, died, and rose on the third day, and he is Lord and God of all.